beautiful freaks, and welcome to a brand new episode of Freakquels. I'm your host, EJ Leeson, and with me today is my co-host with the most, Mr. Rory Colorasi. How are you, sir?
I am very excited to get this over with.
Oh, really?
I don't want to be around any of you people anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
The last half hour was hell.
Oh, yeah. Man.
I tried to fake it.
I
I really
tell.
tried. I was just kind of like, I'm going to try to be a normal person. I'm just going to talk to you guys. I want out.
I noticed you were being antisocial when I looked over and you looked like Mike from Blair Witch standing against the wall.
I was urinating. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know how bathrooms work.
Oh, right. Also with us, a very special guest. No stranger to the show. He's been on a couple times, did a little bit of music. We promote him all the time. Mr. Adam Farley. What's up, buddy?
Guys, can I just say how awesome it is to be back on Freakquels?
Dude.
My favorite podcast. I mean, listen, Rory, I know right now you're probably like, fucking lies. It's not true. You know I love this podcast. I listen to it every Thursday morning on my way to Philly, and I'm excited to catch up on some episodes because I need to catch up because of all this winter weather we had.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to really catch up, and I don't want to spoil it because it is my thing that I do on Thursdays. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to catch up tomorrow. I'm excited to be here with you lovely folks. I love you all.
I love you.
And thank you for having me on again.
And congratulations on the Eagles, buddy.
Go Birds.
Yeah.
Go Birds.
Adam is such a diehard Eagles fan. A lot of people don't know this, but for confirmation, he took the name Chris after Chris T. Jones.
I did, and I actually had a chance to tell him that. I connected with him on LinkedIn because I'm old now. And I shared this story with him, and he thought it was awesome. So
Yeah.
I do check in with Mr. Chris T. Jones from time to time, who's in the healthcare profession.
Wow, is he really?
Yeah, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
And
He was a wide receiver?
He was a wide receiver, had a
Yeah.
lot of injuries, so it kind of plagued his career. But
Yeah.
This
was-
is
this
football,
is football.
right? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just checking.
Yeah, this is football.
Okay.
It's okay,
Yeah.
Rory. No, it's okay.
That's the one with the puck, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pinhead was a linebacker at one time.
He was.
In hell.
In a story that should have been.
You opened it, we came.
Yeah, that's why it ended Frank's
Opened
career.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Frank needed
You
human
have a kiss
flesh.
for daddy. Also, first time appearance. All I could say about this guy is very handsome. Just straight up.
That's actually how he pitched you.
Yeah,
He was just
I
like,
agree with
I
that
got this-
statement.
Yeah.
I got this guest. Handsome.
Handsome.
High.
A lot of people might say handsome Dan. I'm just gonna say that right now. Handsome Dan. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mr. Dan Hanicak. What's up, buddy?
Nothing. Actually, funny that you mentioned LinkedIn because I'm here because I'm also connected to Adam on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how this got started and played out.
Did he take some part of your name to complete his name? Is that how it started? He reached out to you?
No, we were friends in real life, but
Yeah, we are friends in real life.
On and off the LinkedIn.
for
Yeah.
some reason we had to connect through LinkedIn to get a conversation started.
Well, let's talk real quick about that. So it's been a while since, we've ran into each other from time to time.
Yeah.
We actually ran into each other at Target.
Target a few times.
We're not promoting Target, by the way. But we have we have ran into each other there, and then I thought I had your right number, which I think I did.
You
I
did.
messaged you, but you were busy. And
No.
then I think I double checked with DJ.
No, I had to reset my phone.
That's
like
right.
a full factory
That's right. You
reset.
gotta reset.
And
Yep.
then I've numbers saved through 4 or 5 different methods
Right.
of saving numbers, and I must not have signed back into whatever one yours is saved on.
Right.
So I didn't
You
have
thought I
the
was some
number.
random guy named Gary.
Now this story is relatable.
And so
Who the hell is this guy?
It took
texting
about
me?
a month. And
Right.
I figured it would happen. It didn't happen, but I reached out to EJ
Yeah.
and got your number.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
Did you
just-
see him
it's awesome.
dancing at the airport? Is that really what happened?
Oh, yeah.
Bang Bang Leeson's still a thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Now, Dan and I have history as well. Well, first off, I met Dan through Adam, but Dan and I used to wrestle for our ARWA way back in the day, Dixon City Civic Center. I was Ricochet.
which was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Like, it was legit. Like, you hear there's still leagues out there. Like, I know before I left, like, social media, there was people that I knew who have leagues that are tied up, and I think it's Scranton.
Yeah.
But I don't know how well they're promoted, but what I can say is how well your league was promoted.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Personally, I thought it was
Yeah.
one of the worst ones for me, but
Yeah.
not my favorite. is what
Right,
I'm trying to
right.
say. It's
Yeah.
it was passable.
Rory
You just
prefers
came and
mud
booed.
wresling.
Yeah,
I
he
do.
just booed everyone. Everyone was.
I didn't
a
even
heel.
pay
No,
attention to
he-
what was going on. I just came in and boo.
Yeah.
I do the same thing at plays, weddings,
Well, the funny story
In
is
church.
church
So
mostly.
Dan was the champion of Arwa, and one night
Wait, what?
ARWA,
Oh,
he was a champion.
of what?
Arwa.
It sounds like he's like an
We use acronyms.
Yeah,
It's like
an
Wawa.
acronym.
Yeah.
sound like an Egyptian prince.
He is. He's the champion. But anyways, one night I had a hardcore match, and versus Phoenix, right, Ed, and we all went to Perkins afterwards, and that's when I went. This is like the official like meet cute of me and Rory, because we went to Perkins. I ran into Rory, and he's like, "Hey, do you like Star Wars? I just bought a bunch of episode 3 figures. Do you want to come see them?"
That's probably how I would greet somebody for the first
Yeah.
time. It's like, hey, you like Star Wars?
Yeah. And I just remember I still had like blood on my Ricochet shirt from Ed, and just like I was limping because it was a hardcore match. And I was like, I want to see those figures.
I wasn't concerned about
Is that a real story?
That's a real story. Yeah.
I wasn't concerned about his injuries at all. I was just like, we just talk about Star Wars and then you can go to the hospital.
But that isn't that crazy?
But the cool thing about the four of us all being in this room is that we all had a unique way of how we met each other, which is
Yeah.
why we're so awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
we're just really
Yeah.
awesome people.
I mean, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And if you go to Angel Fire website, the ARWA website is still out there. Right?
Oh,
It was last I knew.
well,
Yeah.
I'll tie it to our website since we have the nostalgic website going with archives. So I'll add that to our cool links page.
Yeah, and you could see each wrestler had like a profile,
Yeah.
and you could see our our profiles.
If the audience
Yeah.
doesn't know what's going on right now, that's okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, but chug it. Let's start wrestling.
They're like, let me get out there to Angel Fire.
Yeah.
Angel
Get out there.
what?
Angel Fire.
I'm
Angel
20.
Fire. Somebody right now is going, Angel Fire.
I hope Angel Fire doesn't find out it's still.
Yeah,
still
I know.
up and
They're
running.
like, what?
Someone's talking about us, guys.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Dan's mom, Lonnie, for hiring me back in the day because we shared the same birthday, which opened
Yeah.
the door for all this to be possible.
Yeah.
So shout
absolutely.
out to her.
This
I love
is
her.
for you, Lonnie.
Yeah.
August
Yeah.
25th.
Yeah,
August
damn
25th,
right.
baby.
We're Virgos, baby.
So let's.
That was my
get-
wrestling name at one point too.
Oh yeah,
I was
that's
Virgo.
right.
Yeah.
The Virgos, baby.
Virgos, baby. Well, let's get into some stuff we've recently watched. Adam, do you want to start us off? Like, what's a movie that you recently watched?
Oh my God, what haven't I watched recently? That's actually
Settle
a
in.
lot. So I got to see The Substance.
Yeah,
Cool.
You like it?
I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised all the hype that it got. It was awesome. I mean, I could sit here and talk about that movie all day. Loved every minute of it. I got to see Y2K.
Yeah. What did you think?
I feel like that movie, I don't even have to ask you how you
Right.
felt about
I
it.
mean, listen. I mean, you guys know.
I know you loved it.
There was people that were criticizing it, but I think if you go into the intention of that film like you were hoping it won an Oscar, then that's probably why you didn't like
That's
it.
on you.
Yeah,
that's
that's
on you.
Yeah, I was reading some of these things that people were saying, and I'm like, well, that's kind of stupidity because this whole film is like what my 15-year-old mind thought was
God.
going to happen on 12/31/99.
Yeah,
It's
we were
just
together.
like- yeah, we were together.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I loved every minute of it. I really liked the fact that Fred Durst, not to spoil it for people.
You
Yeah.
just did.
Well, for the people that don't want to watch it, fuck off anyway. But I sent you a video like literally prior to that
Right.
of them performing on MTV TRL,
Right. Doing 1999.
which was like such a pivotal time for Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Or as I would say, it is Limp Bizkit.
Limp Biscuit. Yeah.
Funny story. We can explain another time. But but I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it very, very much.
I love that cameo. Fred Durst cameo. And Wes Borland, too.
So the Wes Borland one made me laugh really hard because Fred Durst refers to him by his first and last name.
Wes Borland.
He's like, Wes Borland.
Yeah.
That always kills me for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going off what you just said, I agree. Because we talked about it, I think it was on our New Year's Evil episode.
Yeah.
That movie is aware of what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like,
100%.
if you're just like looking for it to be something else, then it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, the one scene you did mention on the podcast, I won't say, but like, it was literally like a 5-second, and the guy was just, I was like, wow, that was the best death I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was just like, wow, that
It's
was
the funniest
quick.
goddamn thing ever.
Laughed so hard.
He was wearing
in the
soaps.
theater.
Do you remember soaps?
Yeah, dude. We
Soaps
had
were-
soaps.
Yeah, soaps. My God.
I couldn't
mean,
afford soap when I was a kid.
They nailed that piece of the film. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, dude's wearing soaps. He was in and out in a matter of seconds.
Yeah,
What
I
a-
loved it. It was so good.
So authentic.
What else?
I
What else
laughed
you see?
so hard.
Mufasa.
Okay.
Oh.
I took the kids to see Mufasa.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, my daughter is obsessed with Lion King.
That's
Oh,
fair.
okay.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Good.
So she
liked it?
Oh my God, she loved it. She
Okay.
still reenacting all the scenes like on our steps in the house.
Yeah.
That's what I love about her. She's like Bobby from Bobby's World. She has this awesome imagination. I always tell her, I'm like, hey, never change. I don't care if you keep doing this at 17. Guess what? Like EJ and I were doing something like this at 17.
I still do it.
I still do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Oh, hell
One
yeah.
of the best movies of last year.
Amazing.
It's so good.
was
It's
awesome.
the greatest goddamn thing ever.
It's probably my favorite.
So we have a friend of the show, Macy, who did our
Yeah.
Scream 3 episode. Apparently saw that movie in the theater 30 plus times.
Yeah, she's an like ultra Sonic fan.
That's cool.
And so
I can appreciate
yeah,
that.
I mean, apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
But she saw it like 30 times in theaters.
I was
mean,
following
hey.
her little saga.
Yeah.
She like every day I'd go on Facebook and it's like just saw Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for the 17th time. I'm like, awesome.
All right.
I have nothing but respect for you.
No, the movie's incredible.
It's
it really
awesome.
is. It rocks.
The I won't ruin it for anybody, but the dance sequence. What?
And
it's so good.
What?
And the Fred Durst cameo.
Yes, and the Fred- yeah.
cameo.
That
yeah.
was really good. No, dude, I have a theory that
Just give me something to break.
that Jim
I guess it would
Carrey
be nice.
the Jim Carrey dancing with Jim Carrey scene, cure for depression.
Yeah.
If you're feeling low, that's what you got to watch.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
drink.
I love Keanu Reeves, right?
Oh, so good.
the man.
doesn't? He's the man.
But Jim Carrey, he anchors that. Like he is that. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better actor to play that role.
Robotnik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's incredible. I mean, it's geared towards like everything you thought the Sega series was when you were a kid.
Yeah.
was awesome.
It's insane that Sonic the Hedgehog
Robotnik.
would have the best movie series out of like most video games, right?
Yeah, minus
Like-
Blood Rain.
Yeah, man, you're
Remember that.
you're the one fan of that movie.
I am.
yeah.
I am the sole owner of U-Ball's Blood Rain.
Yeah.
Actually, all the films.
All the films,
that
yeah.
he destroyed, but I just have so
Find
much
something
love for
in
him.
it, man.
Yeah,
He's like-
absolutely.
He's sort of like your Ed Wood.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did you watch?
I mean, I could be here all day.
You got one more.
Oh man,
Make it good. Make it count.
I've been watching a lot of like films previously. I just watched last night. What's the film with Bradley Cooper where he takes the pill that makes him
Limitless?
limitless?
yes.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
rewatched that last night, and I'm like, man, where can I get that pill?
Dude, I got some pills in my car also.
That was like substance before substance.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm serious, man. I can get you some stuff.
I need
that'll
that
make it.
clarity. Give
Yeah.
me that.
Yeah. If
All
you
right.
take a little Limitless with a little bit of substance, you might be all right.
How about this
mean-
one? Adderall.
Don't mix those. Don't mix them. Adderall, stay off of it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
We'll call it Adamroll.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I just said.
Nosferatu this weekend. I'll
Yeah.
be watching that.
Yeah,
I didn't get to
yes.
see it yet, so I'll be
Okay.
watching Nosferatu this weekend.
Mike
Yeah.
Vinci and I were geeking out about that movie last night.
Yeah. Hell
Love it,
yeah.
hate it. Real quick, I know you guys talked a little bit about it on the podcast.
You're like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I did not like. I didn't hate it at all.
Right.
I actually enjoyed it.
Okay.
I just I think it's. We watched the original and covered it on the show like a couple days before it officially came out, and I think watching
Both
it
black
so
and white
close,
and color.
yeah, I think watching it so close to the original, I just went in and it kind of maybe like knocked it down a little bit for. I don't know. I can't explain it.
See, I love Robert Eggers.
Right.
I love
Yeah.
his filmmaking. I think he's the most impressive filmmaker out there because he's like a young dude. Like
Yeah.
when he made The Witch or The
Yeah.
Vivitch.
The Vivitch. Yeah.
Very, very young guy to make such a very detail-oriented movie with
Right.
like I don't know.
and
It's
the
just that's
dialogue is like
authentic. Dude,
Yeah.
even like the way that he built those little houses apparently are like 100% how they would have been made back then.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But no, I love him and Nosferatu was like everything I wanted it to be. Because I didn't want like a copy paste, but I wanted it to be like in the spirit of it. Like I wanted it to feel like, you're watching Nosferatu, and it certainly feels that way. But he did his own little thing with it, and I was so
I think
impressed with it.
what I love about you, though, as well, is every time listening to the show, it's not just about the film, it's about all the creativity that goes into the film
Yeah.
as well. So I think probably your perception as well is the things that you're seeing that most people don't look for.
Yeah, man.
in a film.
There's like these shots in it that are. So I was on this podcast with Dave,
Right.
And that podcast on Real Chronicles, friends of the show, those guys are so like in that world, of,
Right.
like Oscars and award seasons, and they
Yeah.
just know the ins and outs of all of it. I think most of it's bullshit. You know what I mean? But
Right.
like, I remember I was on the show. It was about a month before Nosferatu came out, and I said, like, just based on the trailer alone, I'm like, I feel like that has the possibility to actually get nominated and potentially just win an Oscar. And they're like, yeah, but they probably won't nominate it because it's like a horror movie, and like, horror gets the ass end of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then like they released all the nominations, and that is nominated for cinematography because even the Academy, who's generally so snobby with horror,
Yeah.
saw two movies, one called The Substance and the other one called Nosferatu, and they're like,
Right.
all right, so if we don't nominate this, we're just gonna look like we're trying not to nominate this brilliance. But
Yeah.
like those movies are just like they're so on a different level,
Yeah.
And again, like I understand, like if it wasn't like your cup of tea, it's not like a thing where it's like, EJ, you're wrong.
I liked it. That's the thing. I
Then
liked
why
it.
did you write that long essay called "I Hate Nosferatu"? My name's EJ Leeson, and I used to
meant
wrestle.
like I meant the character. Like I don't think he's a nice guy.
I
He
know,
comes off
but
like kind of a
he
jerk.
had a hard life.
I know, but he's taking it out on everybody.
Everybody used
I
to
think-
call him Nos Ferret Face. That's what they used to call him.
Yeah.
And
I
they
think
made
it's
him
nice
hard.
that they finally are, looking at horror films.
No, I
I've
think so,
always
too.
felt Event Horizon should have been in that category.
Hell yeah.
Wasn't it nominated for a few Razzies?
I needed to bring that.
Where you're going, we don't need Oscars.
I mean, come on.
Where we're going, we don't need quality. No, that movie, like I know when we covered it, I was like, well, I had to be the other voice for that one.
Hey,
but,
even Halloween 6.
yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there, not because I was a part of those two podcasts, but Halloween 6. I mean,
But if you
Paul
wanna
Rudd
listen.
should have won an Oscar.
when Michael Myers was 6 years old.
I mean, come on.
I think that's a good looking movie.
I
personally,
think it's a beautiful looking movie.
I think that
Yeah.
might be my as far as like the tone of the whole Halloween anything. I think really captures.
It
the
feels
holiday
like
better.
it feels like Halloween.
Yeah,
yeah.
even like late night Halloween.
It does.
How about you, Dan? What have you watched recently?
Come on, Dan.
Well, if it helps, Nosferatu was the last movie I saw in theaters, and I did not fall asleep. So that's
That's a plus.
That's so,
That excites me now to watch it.
what a review.
when the lights go down. If I stay awake, that's good, but not much. I've been watching a lot of Adam Sandler because the kids are usually running around. My daughter's 9; she's usually on the phone now
Yeah.
with her friends. And if I'm watching something that might have something inappropriate, I get like a "Dad, I'm on the phone" kind of
Oh,
thing.
right.
So Adam Sandler's usually pretty safe. I've seen him blended about 14 times in the last 3 or 4 weeks. But I accidentally did watch a new movie this morning at about 4:30 called The D Train.
Oh, okay.
It's not okay.
No, it's not good.
It's interesting. It's Jack Black, and I saw Jack Black and James Marsden, and I got a little bit excited.
Oh, cool.
It's like this
I like James
has to
Marsden.
be interesting, and
Yeah.
it's quite interesting. We won't get into any details.
I thought you
but
said the D train. I thought you watched a porn.
Yeah.
well,
I was thinking the same thing, actually.
I suggest that you guys check
It's so
out
funny you
the
said
D
that. I
Train.
was thinking the same thing.
It's not. I mean, the name is the name. So
Yeah, the name. It's almost as bad as the Midnight Meat Train. Remember
Oh,
that
yeah.
movie?
Yeah.
I was very, very confused when I watched it. I'm like, that's not what I.
Where you
signed up
going,
for.
honey?
Yeah.
I'm going to the D train.
but
D train.
I won't recommend it for anybody outside this room, but just so that I think you guys should watch it.
My favorite line from the D train is the line where the guy goes, "This is where you get off."
But you're gonna get off on the O train. Yo, we can make this movie.
You're gonna connect to the O train from the D train.
In order to get to the O train, you got to go through the D train.
Oh no!
This movie's already made,
Damn it!
and
Damn
I've
it.
seen it.
Yeah.
And,
It's not what we're saying it is.
It's well, you're not.
It's
that,
close.
You're not
We're
that
close.
far off.
pretty
if,
close.
if we're being honest,
All right.
it takes a turn you won't expect.
Okay.
Not as many turns as the movie we're talking about today.
So everybody out there,
One-way ticket.
everybody listening out there, check out the Midnight D train.
The Midnight D train. It will connect you to the O train.
Once you get on, you always get off.
You don't need a ticket.
Oh, that's even better. I love that.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
one-way ticket.
How about you, Rory? What did you see recently?
Well, I watched a few. I won't stay on them too long, but I watched Wallace and Gromit: Revenge Most Foul.
Pretty awesome.
Loved it. Did you watch it?
I just love stop motion animation.
Did
so-
you watch it?
No.
Well, then why'd you call it awesome?
I just love stop motion animation.
Can I talk to you
was trying
outside?
to explain.
Talk to you outside for a minute. No, honestly, dude, you'll really like it. I think you more than most people would really love it.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it. It's like a really good kids movie,
Yeah.
you know, and I like anything that features a heroic dog. Call
Right.
me old fashioned, but I like watching a dog roll up his sleeves to save the day. Dog getting shit for a little while.
Yeah.
Technology is sort of replacing this dog, but he's a good boy.
Okay.
And he gets shit done. So I checked that out. I watched Memoir of a Snail.
Yeah.
Let me just say this: it's one of the best movies I saw last year, but it is absolutely misery porn.
Yeah. It's
is so-
it's good,
What
though.
can we
sad.
elaborate on what this film's about? I've never heard of this.
It's another stop go animation movie.
Okay.
You know, but it's like even when I explain this to you, it's just gonna make you want to cry. It's like their mother had died. It's like two twins, right? Like a boy and a girl, and their mother's dead. So they're living with their paraplegic father, who spends a day with them, and they have what they remember to be the best day of their lives, and then he dies in his sleep. A cartoon, mind you.
Oh,
so the
man.
man in his wheelchair,
children?
just snoring, probably has sleep apnea, because why not? It's that kind of movie. And the guy just dies in his sleep. So
Yeah.
the kids, they're kids, and they need to be adopted by someone. So of course they get separated. One goes to like a fucking like
church
orchard.
camp. Yeah.
It's like a church orchard or something.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
they're like crazy weirdo Christian people that just like hate him, and they just psychologically torture him. And then she goes and moves in with a family of swingers. And you'd think I was joking, but no, their parents just like to hook up with other people, like key parties.
This is a cartoon.
a absolute masterpiece
motion?
of one.
Yeah. Stop
So
motion
stop motion.
animation.
So
Yeah.
the girl, she's clearly suffering from like depression and like unresolved trauma. So she gets into hoarding things that look like snails, and she just fills her house up
Interesting.
with snail.
kinda wanna
related
check out a
memorabilia.
trailer for
Hey,
this.
here, let me just add this. And
It's
then
awesome. It's really good.
I'm gonna stop with the misery, but there was a point where she meets this man who she thinks loves her, but it turns out that he just loves her because she's overweight, and he's got like an obesity fetish. So he just keeps getting her like more and more and more overweight, and he doesn't love her. He's just a creepy pervert. And then there's
Yeah.
like a part where she just learns that her brother died in a fire, and then she's like, maybe I'll eat this squirrel or the snail poison. And
Yeah.
it's the only time I've ever watched a movie where I'm like, you know what, you earned it, honey.
it's
Snail poison.
It's really, really. It is sad. It
The
does
part where
have.
she just starts screaming and crying. Like,
I
I was
know.
literally like, my face was on fire, and then it was all just tears, and I'm like, what is this movie?
Is it like the artistic side of the film? I guess that's
Yeah,
kind of which
it's-
drives this film.
Yeah, it's
Because the story sounds like my life,
I know, right? It's like super sad.
It's the obesity fetish.
based
But-
on my life.
Yeah. No, but it has like a lot of funny moments throughout it as well.
Right.
Because she befriends this like older lady.
Sounds hilarious.
I was gonna say, Dan, did you watch it?
No,
Because you had that look like, yeah, I got
just-
this. I watched it 30 times.
I thought it was strange bringing up the D train, and then we got off on the snail.
No, but it's a really good movie. I saw it in theaters.
Oh, by
and
the
I
way,
loved it.
that funny lady that you're talking about, the
Yeah.
opening scene is that lady dies from Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know. I'm not even. That's a spoiler.
There's a lot
That's
of
right up
like
front.
death happening
Yeah,
in this
it's
film.
But here's the thing, though. By the time it ends, where it lands, you're like, that was an incredibly real and authentic, beautiful movie.
Well, there's
but
always that. I
yeah.
feel like there has to be that message.
there's
in
a
the film.
humanity to it, and it doesn't pull any punches, and it challenges you. But whew, a little bit of a rough one.
Wow.
I was looking
Yeah.
for the words to describe the D train, and there they are.
That was it. The Midnight D Train, everybody. Finished Dexter Original Sin.
Amazing.
Good stuff.
Loved it.
I've been continuing my thing with watching Seinfeld. We don't have to stay on that one. But I also saw Hard Eyes.
Oh man,
yes.
how was that?
Did you guys see it?
No, but I
want to.
wanted to. I want
Yeah.
to see it. Yeah.
I don't want to ruin anything because I know specifically you're going to really like it. But I will say I saw the poster for this and I knew nothing about it. And I was so pleasantly surprised by this movie. What's his
Okay.
name? Mason Gooding?
Yeah, Mason Gooding from
this-
Scream
From those
6.
flat Scream movies?
Yeah. And
Scream 5 and 6. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He's one of the.
and the detective
He's
is
Chad.
Yeah, Chad Meeks, like Randy's nephew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know the one that they stab into Swiss cheese and he's still just like, hey
Yes.
guys, I'm still in these
Yep.
movies.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's got awesome comedic timing, and it rolls into my theory that I've had where these actors and actresses outside of the Scream movies produce great work.
Yeah.
Like Melissa Barrera, the first time I saw her, I think it was in
You're
the
a
Heights.
monster.
No, it was in the
Oh,
Heights.
In the Heights, yeah.
I remember seeing that and being like, wow, she's like a really terrific actress. And then I saw the Scream movies immediately after that, and I'm like, oh, she must have just got lucky.
Is Devon Sawa in?
Yeah, he's in
That's
Hard Eyes.
because I was reading an
Jordana
article on
Brewster.
Bloody Disgusting, and I thought I saw that he was part of that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've
he's
been on
in
a
it.
Final Destination kick because of the nostalgic release of another Final Destination.
Oh, I know. I'm
That's
excited.
a badass trailer, though.
It is a
It
badass
really is.
I
trailer.
really don't want to like downplay
No.
how fucking cool
It
that
definitely
trailer
gives
is.
you the feel
Awesome.
of the not to get off onto a tangent, but the Final Destination gives you that new trailer gives you that feel of
It's awesome.
what a Final Destination film is.
Yeah.
I was like really into that trailer, and then immediately after that, I saw the new Jurassic Park trailer, and whew,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, man.
But no,
yeah.
with Hard Eyes though,
yeah.
I think the two leads are wonderful. They have great chemistry. It's a romantic comedy with a serial killer in the background.
Yeah,
it's fun.
that's
like
what I
that.
keep saying. It's like a rom-com first,
Yeah.
and like a horror movie second. And
So like Happy Death Day?
so oddly enough,
Tonally.
Christopher Landon, who wrote Happy Death Day and Freaky,
Okay.
also wrote this.
Oh,
and
then,
you
yeah.
could like you just feel
It's got that feel to it.
Don't
yeah.
tease
Yeah.
me, what a good time.
You know, so
I'm
if
ready.
you like those movies and
Oh,
Scout's
yeah.
Guide to the Zombie
Which
Apocalypse,
is another awesome film.
freaking amazing. You'll like this because Chris Landon wrote
Okay.
this.
In
Yeah.
the special thanks section, I caught Mike Flanagan's name was in there, so I think he had something to do with it.
Oh, okay.
And Kate Siegel.
Oh, okay.
I was like, man, you got a good group of people
Wow,
behind you.
yeah, that's amazing.
But yeah, man, that's a movie that we'll cover
yes.
down the road. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it.
One movie I have to like implore you guys to go see.
Wait. What did you see?
Oh,
Yeah, what did
well,
you
all
see?
right.
Yeah.
So I saw Companion, and I loved
Loved it?
it. It's
Okay.
like that and Hard Eyes. absolutely loved, and I want everyone
It's
to
another
just
one on
go
my
see
list,
them.
companion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go see it. Don't watch any trailers. Just go in without seeing anything for it. And the less you know, the more you'll love it, I think. Because that's how I went
love
in.
it.
I did have to use the bathroom during the trailer in Nosferatu for Companion, so I haven't
Yeah.
seen the trailer.
Oh,
yet,
good.
so.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm telling you, just watch it. It's fun. Jack Quaid's in it.
Okay.
And Sophie Thatcher from Heretic. But it's great. Yeah, absolutely loved it. And then I also saw Brave New World Captain America, and I loved it. I thought it was, me personally, I love Sam Wilson. I think he's such a great character, and I think he's a great Captain America.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
I was excited, but it's been it's a rough start for it.
Right.
But
Yeah. I think like, it's funny because when I initially watched it and it had like the end has like a little bit of a thing at the end of the credits, right? And I watched that and I was like, oh, that was kind of a bummer. It wasn't that great. And I think that kind of soured the movie for me at first. And then the more I thought about the movie, I was like, I actually really enjoyed the movie. So yeah, I don't know. Just so the end credits scene kind of lame. You don't really have to watch it. But like the movie itself it's fun. Harrison Ford is really
I
good.
heard he brings it.
Yeah. Him and again, Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, love that character.
I like Sam a lot.
Yeah.
I think Sam was a great character being Sam. I think it's just a missed opportunity that shield didn't go to Bucky. And I only say that because like in your movie you probably want there to be some kind of drama, right? Make it like kind of an interesting character. I
Yeah.
liked the idea of Bucky being past the shield, the responsibility of like the icon that was Captain America and like what he stood for.
Right.
And he's this guy that actively like worked against his country and did all these horrible things to people and would not feel worthy to have that, and you would get to experience his journey feeling worthy of the shield. I just felt like that was such an obvious choice. And they went from the guy who was already just like a good dude.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, that's real exciting, guys.
I didn't get to see it, but if I'm not mistaken, like thinking back to our comic days,
Right.
like I remember the Punisher had become
he was
Captain
for a little
America
bit.
for a little
Yeah.
bit when he was found like when
In
he was
Punisher
dead on
Warzone.
like
Yeah.
the steps of like the Washington Monument or something. I just
Yeah.
remember
Yeah. Cap was
when
assassinated.
Cap was assassinated, right?
And Captain America number 25. Nerd alert.
No, it's okay. I remember that comic.
And and Punisher tried to take the mantle,
But it was like
but it was
didn't go over that well.
Everybody was pretty much on the same page.
Yeah,
with that.
they're like,
"Eh, maybe not you. Hey, do you remember
Yeah.
the pitch that we had for the Archie meets the Punisher? Because
Yeah.
I guess it's like a real comic book,
Yeah.
but we wanted to make like our own version of it,
Right.
Where he just kind of comes in and he's just like shooting
blown
Reggie.
off.
And,
Yeah, like everybody.
Where's Jughead Jones?
Jughead Jones? Where is he?
He's like sticking Archie's hand in a deep fryer. Where's Jughead?
He's like, he was there that day my family was shot. And Jughead's just walking by with a cheeseburger.
Huh?
Huh?
It just turns out it's like a big misunderstanding at the end.
Well, how dare he? But yeah, that was the last movie I saw besides the movie we're going to cover today. Which
We're covering a movie?
Goodness.
Yeah,
my
which is a
God.
movie I saw in theaters with Adam Farley.
Yeah,
And this was your
Absolutely.
pick.
It was
This
my- my pick. I'm very excited about this pick. I think this is another film, and we'll talk about it, but that you can't go into it with these high expectations that it's like Oscar worthy. It came out at a very awesome time.
Yeah.
And I think if there's one thing I take away from this film that I think now that I'm older and look at it is the marketing for this film was awesome for its time.
Yeah.
It was awesome for its time because it was at the high peak level of what we all know as AOL Instant Messenger,
Yep.
where everybody was on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into it because there's so much to talk about. But I just thought the marketing for this film was incredible.
Yeah.
And at the end of the podcast today, you'll be able to go to the original website, which we've pulled out of the archives, to play on the website, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
utilizing Flash, which is no longer in existence, but thanks to Ruffle, you can still utilize the website.
If you're like 14 or 15 years
You
old,
have no idea what we're talking about.
Adam Farley just spoke an ancient language.
Yeah, that is awesome though.
Yeah.
You picked this movie, and oddly enough, Dan felt differently. He was the one who thought the Oscar buzz.
I just found out that I went in with too high of expectations. So that was the problem. I was like, oh, we want to talk about this movie on this amazing horror movie podcast.
Yeah.
It must be good.
Yeah.
Amazing
Jeff
horror movie
Wadlow.
podcast.
Yeah.
We think
Jeff
of it as
Wadlow
like
would be proud of Dan. He'd be like, I directed this film. This man says I deserve an Oscar.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into it, but I didn't hate it.
Right.
But I was looking for something, I think, is the problem.
He was
man.
looking for John Bon
Hey, man,
Jovi to perform.
You feel any way you want about this. You're good.
I feel.
It's funny you brought up John Bon Jovi. I absolutely forgot he was in this movie.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that, and so when I was rewatching it, I went, "He's in this? Like
Yeah.
what?"
It jumps right out at you.
Yeah, I was like,
He did so well in John Carpenter's Second Vampires that they
Yeah, that's
decided
right.
he needed to be a part of this
and
film.
I actually like that.
Yeah,
that
it was
movie.
actually pretty good.
Good pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diego Luna. I think
Yeah.
that was my first time seeing him in. I think that was like my exposure to him was in Vampires 2, and I was like, "Yo, that kid is a good actor." And then now he's Andor.
You know what's really funny? I imagine somebody listening to this and going, "They made a Vampires 2?"
Yeah.
Or like another person listening to it, like, "What the fuck is Vampire?"
What is that?
And the answer is Vampires is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, 15-year-old me thought that movie was like super rad. It was like
Yeah.
I know like John Carpenter always wanted to make like a Western, and that was the closest he ever got to making one.
Yeah, the first one
one's
is
awesome.
Valak was a
Mr.
cool
Mr.
vampire.
Valak, Terry Silver,
Terry Silver. I was
Thomas
going to
Ian,
say, yeah.
is
Mr. Terry
amazing.
Silver.
Yeah,
But we're not here to talk about vampires. We're here to talk about what?
we're talking about Cry Wolf.
What's that?
Wolf.
Cry Wolf is a movie that came out in 2005, starring Lindy Booth, Jared Padalecki, and a lot of other people that are very unknown.
A bunch of people who had very, very, very vast careers.
and
But are a part of nostalgic history.
right, yeah, and directed and written by Jeff
Wadlow.
Wadlow, right?
I have a
Yep.
note about him. This is his feature film debut.
Right.
Made Cry Wolf after winning $1 million at the 2002 Chrysler $1 Million Film Festival.
Wow.
Oh,
And he got to make this movie.
That's
Interesting.
actually pretty
It's
awesome.
kind of awesome.
that is kind of awesome.
I like to hear things like that because I'm going to say this right now. Like this movie, I've got a lot of good things to say about it. When we were talking about doing it, I was like, I gotta rewatch that movie because I saw it once. The last time I saw this movie was the first time I saw this movie, way back in 2005, the year of our Lord.
Well, you know what's awesome about I call, and EJ knows this, and I think Rory I've mentioned because we talk a lot. This is kind of like the 2000s poppy horror era,
Yeah.
right? Like I think of like the reboots, like When a Stranger Calls,
Yeah.
One Missed Call, House of Wax, which we just talked, which I would love to do. I love House of Wax.
I actually really like that movie too.
I love it. Fear.com. Like,
Yes.
people
Yeah.
forget about these films, but because they're all like
One
hit-
Missed Call.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's a, yeah, right.
It's really funny. I remember being in the theater for all of these movies.
I know,
right,
right? Me
But that
too.
was kind of like the millennial of us watching these films back in the day.
Yeah.
It seems like yesterday, but these are films that when you go back and watch them, you go, wow, they're pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, they're decent films.
I think this was also coming off the tail end of like the whodunits as well.
Right.
Because I think like obviously shortly after, that's when like Paranormal Activity came out, and then it
You had
got
like The
really
Ring
into
coming
the
out and some of those
found
other films,
footage.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Then it got really into like found footage stuff.
Yep.
Like an era of horror. But yeah, this was like on the tail end of like the whodunits as well. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, you're
oddly
right.
enough,
Because it sort of drifted into, like, I think like remakes really
Yeah.
the horror remakes were like really going strong at this
They did.
point.
Yeah, you're
and,
right.
And then you're
Yeah.
right. Like, and also in the midst of it were like these little Saw movies they were making.
Yep.
Yeah.
Final
And,
Destination 2, Final Destination 3 started, like, those were still coming around.
On
Yeah.
the Saw topic, there is 100% something at the end where I felt like somebody at the, like whoever made this movie was like, you need to have like a Saw montage at the end because it's very much
definitely-
structured like that.
And it's weird that they use
Yeah.
the music too. It's like
dun 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 dun.
Yeah. But let's get into this movie. So
Let's
the
do
film
it.
starts with a girl running in the woods, and it's super dark. And when I mean super dark, like I don't think they knew what filters were.
No, I had to turn. I had to turn my lights off in my in my room to just see what was going on.
So I was watching it during the day. And so there was a lot of daylight coming
Yeah.
in, and I was like, I gotta get like
tough
some
to see.
blackout curtains
Yeah.
here,
Just to see what's going
Yeah.
on.
yeah.
Hey, can I put a challenge out there for anyone listening right now? I would like a count of how many times a woman has, like, in the midst of a sprint, fallen flat on her face. How
Yeah.
many? That's such a trope, isn't it?
It's I mean it's
It's
in
out of
every
control.
single Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like
There's no Friday the 13th where no one trips.
it's just like
Like there's absolutely someone eats
always
ass.
loses
Like, it's like absolutely.
loses their footing. And
Yeah.
man, I'd like to know like how many movies features like a maniac in a mask chasing somebody only to have them fall on their face and then scramble up and run again only to be murdered seconds later.
It's
Yeah.
like that commercial that they came out with. I forget which insurance company did it,
Yeah.
but it's like
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
the serial killer, they're like, we should hide in here, and they're like, no, we should get in the car, and then like
Yeah.
the killer's just like shaking his head like, oh my god. That's kind of essentially what it is, right?
Right.
It's like,
So there's a running car. We should jump in that. No.
Oh no!
Let's
Go hide
in the
near the
shed.
chainsaws.
Yeah.
yeah, let's
Full
go
of
in the
chainsaws.
let's go in the garage where Ash keeps all of his chainsaws.
So as she's running, she stops, and then her phone rings, and the person chasing her ends up shooting her in the head. And I was actually surprised because I thought this killer specifically used a knife, and then I was like surprised. I was like, oh, he uses a gun. I forgot about that.
Did he call her? The
He
killer
called
called her, right?
Yeah,
He
the
pulled
killer
her-
called.
okay.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
confused.
Used the phone to it, like
Yeah.
went to Becky.
Yeah.
Yep.
Called Becky, and I was like, oh, poor Becky.
It's always a weird thing when slashers or quote unquote slashers shoot somebody with a gun for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't. It's always weird. Like like
It's
Scream.
uncalled for.
Yeah, I know. How rude. No, in Scream 6 when you see Ghostface,
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, pumping
Yeah.
a shotgun. You're
Yeah.
like, what is this?
What is happening here?
Yeah.
What?
Times have
guess
changed.
I guess it's more efficient though.
Yeah,
Like, cause they're like running away. You're like, I don't have to chase them. You know.
Yeah.
yeah. I think
This close
your
range weapons is just wasting my time.
your copycat killers just go, man, they're just doing this all wrong. Let's just end this really quick. We'll
Yeah.
just,
You don't have to wait for them to fall. You
yeah,
can get
just,
them.
just grab a shotgun.
yeah, just,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't
End
know.
it quick. So then the next day, over at the prep school Westlake, a new student arrives named Owen, and he can't
Who I
find.
think should have been played by Andrew Garfield if he
Oh
was
my!
a proper age.
There's a few deliveries. I'm like, is that Andrew Garfield?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
It's definitely giving off some Andrew
I can kind of
Garfield.
see that now that you said
Dude,
that.
he
Yeah.
also has like a Hayden Christensen Attack of the Clones sort of thing going on in certain scenes. He really does. He looks like young Hayden Christensen because at one point we were
Yeah,
watching
okay,
it.
I can see
Becca's-
that, though, too.
Becca's just like, he kind of looks like Hayden Christensen Attack of the Clones. I'm like, no, he does. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Played by Julian Morris.
Yeah. Who? I don't know.
I think
anything
he's like,
else. Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing today, but we could find out.
He looks
We'll-
kind of
we'll find
jacked
him.
in his IMDb photo.
I think he
Oh.
works at like a Target.
He works at a gym.
He
now.
stars in the Emmy-winning Man in an Orange Shirt for the BBC.
Okay.
Big fan. Big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan. So he's walking around the school and he's looking for anybody and he can't find anyone.
You know what he does find?
He runs into Dodger.
No, he runs
Oh.
into a deer. There's a fucking deer.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was.
Yeah, I was like surprised that Deer attended Westlake High School.
He was wearing that little uniform.
Yeah,
But I immediately I'm like, well, clearly the deer's the killer.
right.
Because they're out in the woods
Right.
in the beginning of the movie.
and he definitely has trauma from guns.
Yeah.
Probably.
Remember when the gun got put in the girl's face and she went, "Oh dear." And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
obviously,
Oh, of
Obviously.
course. Yeah.
dead giveaway.
But he runs into Dodger, not a deer or a reindeer, but a
That we know
person. She is played by Lindy Booth, and
she hasn't aged at all. If you've seen Lindy
know,
Booth,
she looks like
the
the
same.
same.
Like they can make a Fear.com, Cry Wolf 2,
yeah,
and she would be. She looked the same.
back in high school.
She's like,
pick
hey,
up.
I'm still here.
She's like, remember me from the famous Jet Jackson? I was like, yes, I do.
That's right.
But so Dodger tells him that everyone is basically in the assembly because a girl went missing, like a local girl, and so they get to know each other. And she's like, "Yeah, my name's Dodger because my mom, she's a Dickens scholar,
Big baseball fan.
big baseball fan, loves the Dodgers, Brooklyn, not Los Angeles, of course." And then Owen. They kind of hit it off, and he kind of covers for her, like, because one of the teachers comes out. She's like, "Why weren't you in the assembly?" And she's like, "I was helping this new guy." And he's like, "Yeah, she was trying to show me around to the boys' dormitory." She's like, "But I wouldn't go in." And I was like, "All right, like, just chill."
Just cut this dialogue.
yeah,
out.
I was like, "All right."
This is like a page of dialogue they could have lost.
Yeah, I was like,
There's a
"All
lot of
right."
those in this.
Yeah.
they
But then
can't
there's
just,
some
like,
good dialogue,
all
too.
those. I feel like all those films have those like
Yeah.
moments where you're like,
Yeah.
could have probably cut that out for sure.
Well, I just
Yeah.
feel like, I think the whole idea was that they were supposed to, at this point, kind of develop some type of a connection or attraction to each other. But, like, film is a very visual thing.
Yeah.
And all they have to do is just run into each other real quick, and she smiles, he smiles, call it a day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they burn through 2 pages of a script.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
they
was
do.
falling for her pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
and
you're the first girl I saw in school, so you'll be my love interest.
And I love that Owen calls his dad and fills him in on fitting into school.
I thought it was Kevin Conroy for a second.
Oh, Gary Cole. I
For
know.
like a second, I looked up, I'm like, holy shit, it's Kevin Conroy. Oh.
Yeah. And Gary Cole doing a very good British accent.
Ish.
Not quite, because he kind of has like an American accent at first. He's like, "Hello," and then later on he has a British accent. I don't know. It was weird. But he fills him in on like what's going on at his school, and we get like a really quick montage that Owen is a janitor at the school, like working as a janitor. He moved in with his roommate.
Is
who
there a reason he's a janitor?
Nope.
Isn't his
yeah,
dad like
I mean,
wealthy? and
Rich,
shit?
right? I didn't
Yeah.
understand.
Maybe he just needed something to do in between, make a
I
little
don't
extra
know.
cash
It
flow.
seemed like his dad was always kind of helping him out and getting him out of things.
yeah, I sense that,
But not
yeah.
taking his calls.
Right, but he's like, "Oh, I can't take this."
Here's
Yeah.
20
I'm busy.
bucks.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I relate.
Dad was like pawned him off. Was like, hey, go do your thing. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
my thing. Like, don't call me.
That's what I plan on doing
Just,
with
here you
my
go.
kids. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But we also find out he's roommates with Jared Padalecki, and the character's name is Tom.
Who's having a lot of fun in this movie?
I think you could see that he was going to be like a breakout, I feel like.
Yeah.
In this movie, I like Jared Padalecki is just having a good time.
Was he doing
Plays a-
Supernatural yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. No, I think this
This is
probably kind
2005?
of helped. Yeah.
So I think Supernatural one started like
close.
2007, 2008, maybe?
Yeah. Well,
No,
he was
maybe
in Friday
it
the
did
13th reboot too, right?
That
Yeah.
was a couple years later, though.
Was
that
that a
like
few years later?
2009, I think.
And that, I
Yeah.
think he was already a part of.
And he was already in Supernatural. So I think Supernatural started like 2006, maybe
2005.
2005.
Okay, so there you go.
So
There
maybe
we go.
he went right from this filming like 2004-ish to starting like
That's the things that
That's
you can
crazy.
appreciate too about these films, right? Like whether you love it or hate it, it's cool to see that some of these films kind of led to people getting other roles
right.
that kind of put them on the map, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I think like Paul Rudd, we talk about Halloween 6.
Yeah.
I knew you were getting back to
Hey,
him.
listen, Clueless and Halloween 6, like I mean, they were trying to get him to come back to do, obviously, a Halloween film, and he was obviously probably, I think he said he was busy, but he probably didn't want to be a part of it now. But it's little things like that that
like,
put
I'm
you on
Ant-Man now.
that put you on the map,
Could be
right?
Tommy
Sexiest man
Doyle.
alive.
That's
Cool. Yeah.
Sexiest man alive. Yeah.
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 He's like, I can't be Tommy Doyle now.
Come on. But so that night, Owen sneaks out with his roommate, Jared Padalecki, Tom, to meet up at the chapel with other students. And Tom gets him to come out by saying Dodger wants him to come to the chapel.
Yeah,
and
because
play
at first
this
he's
game.
kind of just like, fuck off, I'm sleeping. And he's like,
Yeah.
Dodger wants you there. He's like,
Okay,
right.
give me 5 minutes. And they go to the chapel to play this game called Wolf.
which I thought was Secret Hitler.
Basically, it is,
Yeah.
right? It really is. And so
And
a couple
there's another game, a Mafia, right? Like that was
yeah,
what
Mafia.
Mafia.
Yeah.
The Secret Hitler game I never got to play when I was
Oh,
younger.
yeah, man. That game's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's like a board game that came out, I don't know, maybe like 2018 or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or around there. But it's fun. It's cool. And then same with Mafia and One Night Ultimate Werewolf, which is basically this.
That
too.
police car you just heard,
Yeah.
that's for me.
I know.
I have to go now.
They're looking for Dodger.
And so Owen gets to meet the whole gang, and there's like a Dollar Tree, Dane Cook, Kmart, James Corden.
The guy who killed Eric Draven's.
Right.
Or was it the one guy looks like Tintin from The Crow?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Those
100%.
dreads and stuff. He looks just like him.
Yeah. And then one looks like James Corden, which I was really pumped about. And then
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh, that guy.
yeah.
What's his name? Hodge?
I don't know his name.
I think, yeah, because
Oh, man.
I also had a Dane Cook thing. It says,
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Hodge just looks like he's turning into like a Ryan Reynolds, Dane Cook love child.
Yes. Yeah. And then you have Mercedes, and that's like the only name I remember.
was
out
that
of the
Graham, the
Prince.
guy that looked? It was Graham, right? Graham.
Graham. Yeah, Graham's the James Corden looking guy.
I think he got out of acting. He
And
doesn't even have a
Randall.
picture on IMDb.
Yeah.
Why'd they write a script and name one of the characters Mercedes?
Right. They're like,
What is that?
yeah, let's name her Mercedes.
Whatever.
Maybe they're a fan of License to Drive, Corey Haim.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe.
Yeah. So the only name I remember is Mercedes. But Owen ends up winning the game versus all the other students. But I have to talk about the lighting again in this because
It's a little wonky.
I think the lighting was only flashlights on their faces. Like all the students had flashlights, and they would hold it on whoever was speaking, and it'd be like 5 flashlights. And I was like, I think the budget went towards all the yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird because like there are shots in this movie that I think are like absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Like when they're the opening of the movie, they do like an aerial shot and you see like the tops of the trees and stuff, and it's just that very
Yeah, it looks
beautiful
awesome.
autumn, you
Yeah.
know, sort of fall thing going on, and I love it. But then there's times where they're out in the woods or you're in the chapel, and it's not great.
And it's weird because at the end, right, when Owen wins the game, he's like, oh, it's just a bunch of rich kids, and you all have like your tells and whatever. And she's like, well, those rich kids are my friends. It still has like flashlight lighting. And I'm like, no one else is
Well,
there.
they're her friends. They stood around to help them finish the conversation.
Those
guess.
boring rich kids.
It was funny because like during the game, Becca's just like, she's like, what's the point of this game? And I was just like, I think it was literally just an excuse for the movie to have people pull their shirts up.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean, to sell tickets, because it was like, it was just really just weird, because like we have to find out who's the wolf, right? So
Right.
here I have to like pull your shirt up, and I'm like, that's cheap, but it worked, I guess. I
And then
suppose. I don't
poor
know.
James Corden gets like fat shamed by
did.
Jared
I
Padalecki.
know he calls him.
And
Yeah.
fat.
how did the
I
game
don't know.
end when it got down to the two of them? Like when it was
Yeah.
Owen and I think Lewis is Mercedes' boyfriend or whatever.
Right.
He just
And-
gets up and leaves.
Yeah, because she's like, oh, great, like, you fucked yourself or whatever, right? And she, like, walks off. He's like, oh, wait up, honey. And then I'm like, wouldn't Lewis have won the game too? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
How that...
What are they doing? There's two left.
Yeah.
It was an excuse for people to pull their shirts up.
Yeah.
There it is.
There are no
That's
rules that were worked
You know what?
out.
Yeah.
Now that you said that, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's mid 2000s.
except for poor Graham.
It was
Right.
very acceptable in that time frame.
Yeah, poor Graham. So the next day, Owen rushes to class, and it turns out he was late to John Bon Jovi's class. And it looked like Tom might have like unplugged his alarm, so that's why he was late. And then John Bon
Getting
Jovi,
to class, he was just living on a prayer. You know. What I
yeah,
mean?
he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm halfway there."
He gave love a bad name.
But I like how cool John Bon Jovi still is. And hey, who's this guy?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, it's
hey.
it's young Vince.
Young Vince?
How you doing? What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Not much, just in the neighborhood. What are you guys up to? You podding tonight?
We're potted.
We broke into Pod.
Yeah.
Really? What's
Yeah.
it? Oh, what movie are you doing? Maybe I'll sit in and I'll.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
we're doing Cry Wolf.
You doing Cry Wolf? All right. Well, nice seeing you guys. I'll see you later.
We could talk
you,
about
buddy.
the D train.
Yeah, we could talk about D-Train. All right, see you, buddy. So then,
For everybody at home, Vince really did just leave.
he left.
Real quick,
This is not a
He
bit.
took some berries going to another party.
Yeah,
before you move on, the girl that asked the question, Laura,
yeah.
she like looks like she's 12, right? She looks like she's not aged.
Oh, the one,
right,
the one in
yeah.
the classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that girl in the class age 7?
Yeah.
She looks like a child.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have an actress to play that part. So
Did
like
somebody
the-
bring their kid?
Yeah, like the producer's like, well,
Hey, she could be super smart. Like there's these really
she's like
super
Doogie
smart
Howser.
people. Yeah.
Oh,
Put
it's
a
a
tie-
Doogie Howser
She
situation.
went right over high school and right to that school.
Put a tie on her
Yeah.
and sit her down.
Maybe it's a Benjamin Button situation.
Could be.
It's a Jonathan and Terrifier 3 thing.
Oh yeah,
Where they
yeah.
keep pushing him through school.
They're just like get him out of here. No, so we see John Bon Jovi
That's
is
a
actually
reference to our Terrifier 3 episode in case anybody wants to listen to it.
he's actually pretty cool about it. He's like, hey, if late is the only thing that's gonna happen in your first week, it's a pretty cool week. And I'm like, what a cool teacher.
Yeah.
Most teachers would be like, oh, I'm gonna keep an eye on you, Mr. Tanner.
You piece of
You
shit.
piece of shit. But he gets an like a instant message in class, and it turns out it's from Dodger, and she's like, "Hey, let's get lunch together, right?"
Can we pause there for a second? Does
Yeah.
everybody remember when they had to go to computer class that everybody signed on to Quick Buddy or AIM Express?
Yeah,
so they can
AMI
log in quick
Express. Yeah,
and message their friends.
yeah.
Like that, like those. And I'm still messaging people in 2025, which is awesome.
I
But
used to send
it's
messages
awesome.
like this movie.
Yeah,
I'm
me
gonna
too.
kill you. And I'll relive.
My screen name is Lil Bo Peep, 84.
But Owen did act like it was the first time he had ever seen a message.
Yeah, he
an
was just
instant
like,
message
"What?
What?
The future's here.
I'm not doing that.
We didn't have this in
What
English.
is this thing that's popping up on my screen? It's iChat.
But he's just like, yeah, like totally surprised. And then I like that even like John Bon Jovi, Mr. Jovi.
They were on Macs, right?
What?
They were on a Mac, right? Was
Yeah,
it
I
a
think they were
yeah.
on Macs.
So it was probably iChat for
Yeah.
him at the time.
And I like that Mr. Jovi's still like, Mr. Whatever, just turn it off if you can, you know?
Yeah.
Make sure to pay attention. And I'm like, he's still being like the coolest teacher. Like, I was like,
Well, he's trying not to step on any toes because he's
Yeah.
got some secrets he probably doesn't want unearthed.
my
Yeah,
my
true.
favorite part of that scene is when Owen's actually on Napster downloading Bon Jovi songs in the classroom.
And then he got a virus
He's
on
like,
the computer.
oh yeah. I'm gonna get
He's
this,
like, Sean
this.
Fanning told me I could download your music.
Sean
gonna be
Parker.
Sean Fanning?
Parker, right?
Well, no, there was
Napster?
Mr. Fanning as well.
Yeah.
From Napster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Sean Parker?
There's Sean Parker and Sean Fanning.
There
Yeah.
was another Sean?
Fanning was the OG, and Parker was the investor.
So it's
Yeah.
sort of like a
And
American.
then he's the one that did Facebook.
Yeah,
Sean
correct.
Parker.
Yeah.
Justin
so
Timberlake.
it's sort of like a American
Yep.
Idol season 1 sort of thing where there were actually 2 hosts, but nobody remembers Mr. Dunkelman.
Yeah. Well, remember,
What?
Sean came out on stage when with the Metallica shirt on
Yeah.
when Lars came out on stage as well, because there was the kind of what started the whole riff.
I
Yeah.
wish Lars beat the shit out of that kid.
He's like, good night.
EJ and I actually met Lars in New York City. He wasn't too
we saw
pleasant.
him. Yeah, we did. We saw him like walk right by us.
And when
yeah.
after he left, we're like, yeah, Napster.
Fuck you.
He didn't want anything to do with us. We're like, Napster lives forever.
Napster rules and you drool. But
That really hurt, boys.
that really hurt, guys. Do I drool?
You're the harvester of sorrow.
So at lunch, Owen finds out from the group that the missing girl was found, and they're just nonchalant about this dead girl, right? They're
Which
like,
is kind of indicative of the time.
right.
Where we
It's
were
like
very,
Scream
very
with, like,
much
Casey.
so. Like, oh,
Right.
like she sat next to me in class. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Kids were monsters in the
Yeah.
mid 2000s.
They really were. There was like no sympathy. They just
People
did not give a
died
shit.
and you were just on it. You're like,
They made
"Here's
jokes
a
about
joke."
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never did that though. Absolutely never made
I know.
dead people jokes. Absolutely never
Never.
did. No one will ever prove it.
And this is when Dodger wants to open the game to the whole school because she's like, you know what?
I'm a sociopath.
Owen, you said something that really opened my eyes because we all know each other. We should open the game to the whole school and use the
I'm not
death.
sure how you got there, but whatever.
Yeah. She's like, we'll use the
doesn't track.
death of this girl.
She didn't seem to appreciate the comments the night before.
Right. She's like, oh, they're my friends. Now she's like, guys, let's use the death of this girl, this local girl named Becky, and
They literally wrote a
insinuate
story.
that there's a killer on the loose, and it's one of the fellow students, and the group are all in. Like, they're like, yeah, let's do that. That sounds
That
great.
sounds callous.
He literally
Yeah.
wrote a story before ChatGPT was even out. That
Yeah.
he literally like
Yeah.
it was very impressive to typing this story out.
So, yeah, Owen and Dodger devise a plan to advance the game, and they go to the library and create the killer. And he wears like a camo jacket. He has an orange mask, and he goes by
'Cause
Wolf.
At first he's like, oh, one of them's like, oh, it should be black.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, orange. And then they're like, no, orange is the new black. And I'm like, that sounds like a terrible name for a TV show.
But that's a cool
Yeah.
scene though when they're describing the
That was a
killer
joke.
and they're showing the killer being designed as they're talking through that piece.
It is neat.
It is a
Yeah.
pretty cool
I really appreciate
scene.
they come up with this story, and I like that they set something up, and then later on this story actually plays out. It's clever.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
like, the footage looks a certain way for sure. There's nothing we could do about that, but
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's neat. It's an interesting way to tell a story like this. But go on.
Yeah, so they create this whole backstory about this killer being going to different schools and doing this, right? And he has other victims. And then they also write basically about their friend group, each of them getting taken out. And eventually Owen's like, yeah, this is great. I'm going to send it out. And they're like, you're going to use your own email? And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to use it as a chainmail. And it's
Bloody
like,
hell, right?
right, yeah. Yeah. I was like,
Cheers, mate.
right? And I'm like, I don't know, man. That seems like a bad idea. But then we see like a montage of the news spreading throughout the school, and each student being like, yeah, I heard he wears like an orange mask, like a hunter.
Now, this is the part of the movie that I find very hard to believe, that people on the internet would buy into fake stories that they read from unreliable sources. I just cannot imagine that happening in this world today.
Still happening today.
Oh my God, you're right.
I don't know. I remember seeing a thing from Abraham Lincoln that said, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Yeah.
So...
He has a British accent, so
But yeah, he has a British accent, so it's probably not right. Oh my gosh, is this who I think it is?
He came out of the
just,
shadows.
just tell me I have to get off my chest, okay? It's so hard to run businesses these days. Food costs is like through the roof.
Right.
Chicken's gone up, beef gone up. The only thing that hasn't gone up is deer. It's still $1.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, John
John
Reckless.
Reckless. Coming in
Love it.
hot.
I've been working 2 weeks away, but
That's like a joke for the whole family.
So then we see all the students are starting to buy into the lore of the wolf, right?
Right.
And then we see where Owen runs into Mr. Jovi, and he's unloading his car, and then they play a game of chess.
Oh, you're a loaded gun, yeah.
So the Mr. Jovi tells Owen to be careful, and I actually enjoy this this dialogue here. I think it's actually really good because he's like, "Oh, I see you have like a little bit of arrogance, right?" And then he's like, "Well, don't you mean confidence?" He's like, "Actually, I think I meant ignorance," and I was like, "That's really well written." I don't know. I think that's pretty good dialogue.
Rory, thoughts there?
I concur. I just wish their
Yeah.
relationship was consistent,
Right. It's like they get along pretty good,
and then they don't.
and then
Yeah.
they
Because
don't
the plot
rest
dictates
of the
it.
movie.
Right. Yeah, it was like they were trying to establish a, like,
Friendship, right?
well,
Like
I
a
think,
fatherly figure for this
yes,
troubled child.
But
But
because of his relationship with his own father, I think it would it's that struggle between his own personal, where he's at in his
Yeah.
life, and then he's trying to not kind of bump heads with Bon Jovi's character as well.
Right.
just call him Bon Jovi.
Call him Bon Jovi,
Mr. Jovi.
Mr. Jovi.
Mr. Jovi.
But I think you kind of
Jovi.
see, like, I think that has to be put into the storyline
right.
because of where the story goes.
Exactly, yeah.
I did like the bit about how they said that the fake story got back to the girl, the victim's parents.
Yes.
And I like that a lot because it's sort of like saying, like, yeah, it's funny for you, but like these kind of things can actually like hurt the people that were, like, you know, people who love the victims. You know,
Yeah, there's like
there's
consequences.
consequences to yeah, and
using a real person
pranks.
tragedy, real tragedy.
and
yeah.
pranks in general, like what they're doing, it's actually kind of set something up for later. Like there's consequences to you just dicking around and using people as like a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where it kind of started going off the rails for me because I was up to this point still trying to decide who that person that we're supposed to be rooting for is, like, to come out through this.
deer.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I know. But this whole conversation, like, because I thought maybe it's one of these two, and then this whole conversation, like, threw that all out the window. Like, I didn't know who I
Right.
was supposed to be rooting for.
I think you said something earlier that you should say now.
The Midnight D Train.
No. You said something like, there's no character in this that, yeah, go ahead.
There's, like, no redeeming qualities for any of them. Like, they lose them all throughout the. Like, I don't know who I want to come out in the end. Like,
They are unlikable.
Yeah.
yeah, all of them.
They're all like little dickheads.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like
wait, wait. Except for
the deer.
the librarian,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
lovable little
Yeah.
lady.
we didn't meet
She's
her
nice. Yeah, we didn't meet her
We'll
yet.
get
Yeah.
there. I don't want to spoil anything.
So in Owen's dorm, Owen gets an instant message from Wolf. And at first, Owen thinks it's Tom, Jared Padalecki. But that's when Tom enters and he's like, no, obviously it's not me. I'm here with you, right? And then he's like, here, let's write back. It's got to be Dodger. She's probably fucking with us, right? He's like, oh, these are all the people in charge of the email like that went out. And he sends it. And that's when he's like, and again, fat shames. He's like, and the fat girl, redheaded girl, Dodger, right? And then I thought it was weird when Tom was like, age, sex, location? ?
Yeah, he got real into it, and he was like,
I love when EJ does that.
Yeah,
"Hey, so real quick question about this dorm.
yeah.
There was a Domino's pizza box present. Did you think about peeing on it, Adam?
Oh man, you know, I at the moment I didn't, but now that you said it,
Don't
yes.
you wish you peed on your TV?
If I was sitting in the classroom with you, we could do this as well. Are you ready?
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
This is turning into like a morning radio show.
I know. I love it. I love sound effects. I love sound effects. So, at the pool.
Oh, there's a 3 Doors Down poster in there too.
Yeah, I noticed
like,
that.
You want to know this is 2005? There it is.
There it is.
Domino's Pizza,
Yeah.
3 Doors Down.
Who do you think was the fan? Tom?
I would say Tom.
Yeah, he was like into kryptonite,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that would probably change his life.
Yeah, and probably did.
Yeah.
So at the pool, Tom and Owen try to prank Dodger, and they're throwing blocks of ice.
Tried to murder Dodger.
Yeah, they like
the
it's
pool.
not even like a prank because like if it did hit her in the head, she would have
Yeah, she's fucked.
right. Like she would die.
She's just lucky she's a Dodger.
Did they
Boom.
Did they stop? Like,
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, I'm gonna go take a walk.
did they stop and defrost a freezer on their way? Because they just all of a sudden have
Yeah,
these
they have
giant
all
blocks
this
of
ice. Yeah.
That'd have been funny if they cut to the kitchen, like, hey,
You damn kids, get out of here.
there'll be no dinner
Richie,
tonight.
where's all of our ice? It's all gone.
Yeah. The librarian's like, can I have extra ice? No.
We got no ice.
We have no ice back there.
Fucking kids are throwing it into the pool.
Fucking kids keep taking our ice. So
The pool is fucking freezing. No one can swim in there for a week.
So they're throwing these blocks of ice at Dodger. She pretends to drown, and so it forces Owen to like jump in and like get her out of the pool. And then she pulls like a Ferris Bueller like Cameron thing.
Say that.
I would have went with what was that girl's name in The Sandlot?
Squints.
Oh, Squints.
When Squints tried to pull that one.
Yeah.
That you know what I'm saying?
Well, she actually quotes Ferris Bueller because when he pulls out Cameron from the pool, he goes, "Ferris Bueller, you're my hero." So she says the same thing, like,
Yeah.
"Owen, you're my hero."
I like The Sandlot a lot too, though.
Yeah, me too. I like Squints. He's pretty cool. So Owen then
Wendy Peppercorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
assaulted her.
Yes,
Yes.
Wendy. Oh my God,
I was like searching my brain for a name, and I'm like,
what's her name?
Marlene Shelton, right? Was that her
Yeah,
name?
Marley Shelton.
Marley
Yeah.
from the Scream 4 movie. She made Lemon
Judy
Squares.
Hicks.
Yeah.
Right, Deputy Hicks.
Yeah.
So Owen confronts Kmart Karaoke, Grant, who turns out it's not him. He's like, it's not me. I was with these students tutoring the whole time. And by the way, I think it's weird that he looks about like 35 compared to all the
absolutely
other
does.
students.
He looks like he's like at least like pushing 40 and under a lot of stress.
Yeah. I was like,
They were running out of money.
well, it's weird because
Dad, will you play a teenager in my movie?
if you think about the age demographic,
Jimmy, come over here. We need
so you
you
have
for a
that
second.
like one girl in the class who looks about like 9 to 12. Then you have James Corden who looks about 35 to 40.
Yeah.
And I just think like the casting director was like,
And he was surrounded
we could
by
pull it
much
off.
younger children. that
Right.
was tutoring. I don't know what he was
yeah, he looks like he could be his kids.
Yeah. They might have been.
They
They
might
could
have
be.
been.
He might have actually like fathered those people in real
Anything was possible in 2005.
Yeah, anything.
life. Hey, really quick before we move past it. So all these instant messengers from the quote unquote killer.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that they didn't know how to spell and had like really bad, and he had like really bad grammar, and they just like felt bad for him. It's like his entire message is just like you can't even read it.
You're like, this guy's illiterate. I'm not nervous
afraid
about
of
this
him.
guy at all.
I don't know if this guy can tie his shoes. I think we're okay.
I'm gonna tell him I'm in New York and he's gonna show up in New Jersey.
Me kill ya.
Why didn't Ghostface ever think about using Instant Messenger to message his people?
That's true. He did not use it once.
Not
right?
once. No.
He used a fax. He sent a fax.
Yeah, for the one who smelled the gas.
Right. Yeah. But I don't think he ever used the instant messenger. Actually, no. I'm sorry.
Took
I'm
like
wrong.
3 days to get there.
Scream 2, and Sydney
yeah,
gets a
yeah.
message. Yeah, in
Yeah.
the library, or the school library.
It said ASL.
What you up to?
Location.
Yeah.
What's
you up?
Yeah, you up? It's a way messages up. I'm out killing people right now. Leave me one.
Slaying and laying.
Her away
Staying
message,
alone.
Sid's away message was not in my movie. Not in my movie. So Owen gets back to his room, which is trashed. And at first, Tom is like, "You trashed my room, man. Why'd you do it?
Oh, he's
All my
pissed.
stuff is trashed.
Yeah, he was pissed.
But yours is okay." And he's like, "I didn't do that." And then they get a message from Wolf And he's like, I ate your friend. I thought,
I hate your friend.
yeah, and I was like, is that like,
You want to get into that?
I don't know. We should get into that.
Are you currently on the D train?
Are you on the D train? I did think it was weird when Owen was like ASL again. No, but they assumed, they're like, oh, it has to be Dane Cook, right? Because it was like a bloody piercing.
Dollar store Dane Cook.
Yeah, dollar store Dane Cook.
And, Jared Padalecki just was like, hey, this thing's covered with blood. I'll pick it up and rub it on my face.
Yeah, and I like how he's like
I'll lick it
licking
a little bit.
it.
He's like, that's definitely
Yeah.
blood.
You know
Yeah.
what? I should put this in my mouth for like 3 to 5 seconds,
Yeah,
right?
let's just see how it tastes.
Mercedes has this fake blood recipe.
Yeah.
No, that's not hers. That's definitely blood.
More bitter than usual.
Yeah.
He does say that though. He's like, it's probably corn syrup. He's like, not as sweet as usual, right? And I'm like, it's blood, man. Like, what are you doing?
This is evidence that I'm going to rub my fingers all over.
And that's when Dodger tells Owen, he runs into her at the library, and she tells Owen that she's a townie. She's like, don't tell anyone, but I'm actually from, like, a local. I'm from this town.
I love her shame. She's like, my mother, she was just a lowly 6th grade teacher. And you're
Yeah.
like, and?
That's
and
not
what?
like, that's not.
Oh,
what
that's
are
the
you
whole
ashamed of?
backstory?
Yeah, like,
Oh, your mom's a teacher.
oh, boo hoo. Like,
They had a heart,
You
man.
sound like what you were just saying. She's supposed to be like a likable character,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you seem kind of like an ungrateful jerk.
yeah, it seems like
Like my dad works really hard as a janitor.
you're like, are you looking for sympathy? Because it's not here, man.
Are they paying like your mother with her 6th grade teacher salary and dad with his janitor money are like probably struggling to put you through the school?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
she's like,
a
yeah, I'm a
shame.
townie, but I don't want people to know because all my friends will look down on me and stuff. So Owen reveals that he likes to get kicked out of school for girls. He's like, well, you know how I told you I messed around with the principal's daughter? Well, she was high on drugs and I just took the fall for it or something. And I was like, cool, Owen. Yeah, like,
You're doing a great job, buddy. Keep it up.
I wish he said like
a little
like,
heavy on the brags.
I wish he like remember when I said that I like hooked up with the principal's daughter?
Yeah.
I was actually hooking up with the principal.
Yeah.
No wonder his dad stopped taking his calls.
Right. That's like, why are you doing this? So at one point, they think the wolf was in the archives with them, right? He's like, I think I just saw the guy in the ski mask, like the wolf. And as they're in the archive, there's this motion sensor that's like going off, right? If you move, the lights will come on. And
And it's like a cool way to add some suspense to the scene
yeah.
because like you
And I
know,
think
like,
they're the first to
lights
do
are-
it,
yeah.
too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
Well
I don't think
before Ring or Blink.
I don't think
Or
I've seen
Halloween.
that done
Yes.
Yeah.
a lot. I'm not gonna say that they in this movie that they nailed it, but it is cool because you're like the lights coming towards them, or they just stop and they're in darkness, and then it's a cool idea.
Yeah. And I know in Halloween 2018 they tried to use the motion sensor lighting for that one
Yep.
scene where
Disastrous effect.
but it didn't work because Michael
that kid
kept
wouldn't shut the fuck
moving.
up.
Yeah.
No,
No.
the Michael moving is fine. Like
Yeah.
the lights go off, Michael moves a little closer. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's just that kid is like not acting scared. He just keeps talking.
He's like, whoa.
He's like, hey, you ever fall in love with a girl and you can't get her to fall in love with you? I'm like, shut the fuck up and look scared. So that I can be afraid too.
Yeah.
David Gordon Green, come on, man.
Come on,
Come
man.
on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. So at one point, they think, the wolf is in there. And so they stand still. And as they are about to move, the librarian shows up. And she's like, guys, go up to the,
She says, try German philosophy.
Yeah.
No one will bother you there.
Yeah.
And then she winks at them and she's like, I know from experience, dude.
yeah. I'm always up there with Mr. Jovi.
Mr. Walker.
I hook up with the students. I'm a bad person.
I'm a bad librarian.
Badass bitch.
I'm a good librarian, but a bad girl. So
You want to beat me with this book, don't you?
let me shush you. Shush. So at one point, they're like, oh, okay. And so they go outside, and Owen tries to kiss Dodger. And she's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
She dodges
Yeah.
him.
She shoots him
Straight
down.
up dodged
Yeah.
him.
She dodges him.
And she's like,
Yep.
I don't like PDA, man. Right? And he's like, oh, okay.
All right, it's 2005.
Right? Like, and it's not like
That's
there
a
was
stupid line, I guess.
yeah. She's like, I don't like PDA, and he's just like, all right, like, I'll
What's
see
the
you later.
difference? What's the
Yeah.
difference between here and when we almost kissed in the building?
Right.
I saved you from the frozen waters of where the Titanic was.
Right.
The least you could do is let me give you a kiss.
She's like, no, that's okay. Catch me later on the famous Jet Jackson. So Owen tries to get a hold of missing Randall, right? And he calls the girl he was supposed to go on a date with. She's like, no, he stood me up. And he has no luck finding him. And at one point, he hears that Dodger might be up in Mr. Jovi's class, right?
Yeah.
So he goes up there, and when he arrives, he kind of sees through the glass that Dodger is kissing Mr. Jovi. What's his real name in it?
Mr. Walker.
Mr. Walker.
It's Bon.
It's Bon, Mr. Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Whoa, you're a loaded gun, yeah.
These 5 words I swear to you.
Yeah, this scene is right out of like 90210 or something.
Yeah, it's weird because he sees them kissing, and then he goes, ugh,
Oh no!
ugh. They're in a private room. Ugh.
Don't like
should-
PDA's my ass.
PDA my ass. Oh, they're in a private room. I guess that makes sense. I'm out of here. And he runs away crying.
He was
But
upset.
he was upset. Back at his dorm, Tom starts to get under his skin a little bit because Tom's like asking him like a million questions, right? He's like, "Hey, have you seen my pads?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, he clarifies. Football pads.
Gotcha.
But he's like, "Have you seen my football pads?" And then,
Are we sure this is coming from a man who
Right.
was licking blood earlier?
yeah, that's
Have
true.
you
I
seen
don't know.
my pads?
Have you seen
Come
my
on,
pads? And then he's like, "Oh, by the way, your book bag was dropped off by the librarian and stuff." And he keeps asking
Put a
him
lot
questions.
of naked pictures of herself in it.
Yeah,
In this German
Yeah,
philosophy
he was.
book.
You could just tell he was just getting very.
yeah. Owen's like, "Could you shut up, Tom? I'm trying to concentrate. I have to write a paper." He's like, "What kind of person would assign a paper on the week of a Halloween party?" And then it
Here's
cuts
some
to
exposition.
yeah. And then it makes a perfect cut to Mr. Jovi teaching his class. And I'm like, that was okay, I guess, right? I don't know.
It was awkward.
It was awkward. It was weird.
It was
What kind
jarring
of
is the word.
person? Yeah. So in Mr. Jovi's class, Tom is kind of getting under his skin a little bit, like, because Mr. Jovi's like, hey,
Is this the scene where the
knife falls out of his
bag?
book bag.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
and he, that's when Mr. Jovi is like, whoa, what are you doing with that knife? And I love that, like, the 12-year-old girl, she screams, like, she's like, wow!
Her name's Laura.
Yeah. And she's like, that's the wolf's knife! Right?
How can we be sure, Laura?
Yeah, Laura.
Did anybody question that? Come on.
I mean, she has credibility for a 12-year-old, I guess. And so Mr. Jovi escorts Owen to the principal's office. And that's when Owen threatens Mr. Jovi about his relationship with Dodger. He's like, hey, you know what? You have your secrets. I know about you and Dodger. He goes, you know about that? And at first I thought he was going to like try to deny it, but he like he doesn't take 1 second to deny this at all. He's like, you know about that.
Well, he does say she's a student.
Yeah, she's a student.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
wish he was wearing like a hat, and he's just like, I know about you and Dodger, and he just smiles and turns his hat backwards. He's like, oh, you heard about that?
yeah.
And it really would be
cool.
his word against his word, right? Because
Right.
we didn't have we weren't running iPhones then, right? So even if he took a photo from his flip phone, do you remember how fuzzy those damn photos were? You can't
Oh yeah,
even
I mean,
tell
you see it later
what
on.
is happening there.
Dude,
with,
all
Mercedes.
my blackmail photos were shit. Whenever I tried to
mean-
blackmail people,
I know.
you know,
It was just
Very pixelated.
yeah.
not good lighting.
No.
Even if there was good lighting, it just looked like shapes
Could
and
be
silhouettes.
anything. Could
Yeah.
be anything.
Anyways, he tells Mr. Jovi, he's like, hey, I'll tell the board about this, and they'll kick you out for no reason. They'll look for any stupid reason to get rid of you. And that's when Mr. Jovi's like, okay, I won't take you to the principal then.
Touche.
Yeah, I love how he does a little wave of the hand and bows.
Here's your
touche.
knife back, good sir.
Yeah.
Let your rampage in my classroom commence.
Keep
I
going.
officially am looking the other way.
So it's Halloween night. Well, no, it's night of the Halloween dance. It's not officially Halloween.
I like the shot of the full moon.
Yeah.
I like
thought that
it
was good.
because it fits into the whole wolf thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
neat. The wolf's
Yeah.
coming out tonight. He's gonna fuck shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And we see where Owen runs into
I agree.
Dodger, and
I
she's
agree.
dressed as Little Red Riding Hood.
Going right back into that wolf shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
This movie, it's read books.
Hell yeah. It definitely read
Yeah,
a
Jeff
book
knew what he
or
was
two.
doing here.
And he's actually like a dick to her, right? Like he's
Yeah.
like, super mean. And it's like, dude, like relax. It's not like it was like a sure thing, right? It wasn't like she was like, hey, we should go out sometime. And then she kisses someone. Like she has a right to kiss.
Yeah, but he felt let on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
but
I will say,
still.
and to that point, when, you know, from a man's perspective, when you're upset about something of that nature, or even vice versa, the girl being upset with the guy,
Right.
eventually he's going to force that person to be like, man, I got to go talk to this person, or like, I got to reach out to this person and make contact. And I think he was trying to say, like, whatever, it is what it is. And
Yeah.
he knew for a fact that she was going to be like, can we talk? Like, what's going on?
Right.
You know, so I think that was kind of like what that scene was set up to be,
Yeah.
where he knew that, and she knew that she would be going back to try
See,
to
Yeah.
have that
Let's
conversation.
not forget, she was the first girl he saw when he walked
That's
into
true.
the new
I
school.
know that
That's
means that
true.
they're
Yeah.
supposed to be together.
Yeah.
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 Hey,
You
know what
I think it goes into Dan's theory that no one's like likable
Yeah,
in this
they all
movie.
just treat each other like possessions. One thing I forgot to comment very early on in this episode, I like that the wardrobe was borrowed from the Halloween H2O collection.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Those fucking
Yeah.
outfits they're wearing, I'm like, that's not just a little like those uniforms.
Yeah.
It's a
They're the
lot
exact
like
same
those
thing.
uniforms.
Hey, they're the Hillcrest Academy.
It might be the
I
same
think it did
school.
say, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it said Hillcrest on the.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it
I
did.
can't wait to cover that movie.
So at one point,
Yeah.
Things to say.
he's kind of a dick to Dodger, and then he goes and he goes to his job.
He's just trying to dodge her.
Yeah, and
I got jokes for puns that I can
Yeah.
make for
He
hours.
was like, I'm just going to
hours.
dodge you.
so at one point, Owen goes to his job and he's cleaning up the cafeteria, and Owen then has a run-in with the wolf at the cafeteria, and he tries to like lock him out, and then he
Scott McCall, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then Owen barely escapes and then runs to the dance. And then he realizes, oh, there's a bunch of people dressed as the wolf here, right? And he also finds out that Tom, his car's back. So he's like, oh, I'm going to pull a prank on Tom. I'm going to go move his car, right? Like, and he even gets in the car. He's like, good luck finding your car. And I'm like, come on, it's not that bad of a prank. You're like, oh, I'm gonna move his car, right? I don't know. So I was like, oh, you got him.
His car,
Way to
he
go,
doesn't
Owen.
even know where it's parked because he hasn't gotten it back from the
Right,
guy.
he didn't even get it back yet. Like,
You could put his car anywhere and he'd think it was supposed to be there.
and that's when
It's true.
out of the back, the wolf tries to attack him again. So they run out of the car up to the police, and the police officer literally has a gun. Like, I'm gonna shoot you guys, right? And that's when Mercedes like rips off the mask. She's like, "It's a fake knife. I'm just kidding around." And and Owen's just like, "What? Huh? What? What the fuck is that?" But Owen, we see, has to go to the principal and have like a conversation about almost getting killed by the cops. And I like that, Mr. Walker and the principal are having this conversation, like the serious conversation with him, right? And about pranks getting out of control.
Yeah.
And his prior history of like almost getting kicked out of like different schools and stuff. And then her son just like burst through the door. And then that's when Owen's like, oh my God, today is Halloween. And I'm like, that's a weird jump.
You know what's
like,
really, really sad though?
yeah.
So like later on that night, that kid comes out of the closet, he scares everybody, gives them a good jolt.
She's like, oh, my son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the thing that was really upsetting for that kid was I guess that was actually one of those silver shamrock masks.
Oh,
And
that's why he was.
he was real excited to watch the big giveaway later on.
Yeah.
the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more day to Halloween.
I can't wait to cover that movie. That movie rocks.
That movie's so good.
I love Halloween 3.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So good.
It's so good. So Owen realizes it's Halloween night, and he's like, "Oh my God, the killer's going to attack tonight."
I
Right?
guess.
I'm. This is
I've
crazy.
got nothing
But
to
tonight's
go
the night.
off of, but sure.
I think he's real, and I think he's gonna attack tonight.
Because it's Halloween, and why wouldn't he?
So he sends a message to like the group of kids, right, to meet at the chapel that night, and Owen hears them like basically all confess one by one, like, "Oh, Tom was the one that put a knife in the backpack." And he's like, "'Cause you trashed my side of the room," and I was
They're
pissed.
playing kind of Guess Who now.
Right, and then like each of them are like,
He's like, you trashed my room, I think, so I'd put like a hunting knife into your book bag. I'm like, the punishment outweighs the crime a little bit there.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to make sure you go to jail for this. I'm not sure you did it, by the way, but
He broke his laptop. I don't know if you.
yeah,
I think you broke my laptop.
They were expensive in 2000.
They really were.
They were.
they were.
You were
yeah.
a king if you had a laptop.
That's true.
True.
Yeah. And at one point, Owen hears each of them kind of confess to taking part in different things like this whole time. And the one girl, Regina, was in the library, and it wasn't Wolf, it was just her. And then, but Owen is still like, guys, I know you're confessing to all of this, but I still think it's real. And
Because this movie's got like 20 more minutes.
yeah, and I feel like it's weird because they're all confessing to the different things, right? Like pretty much lay out every single thing that was like involving the wolf, but he's still like, no.
I still don't think this one's wrapped up yet.
Yeah, he's like, there's still something happening. And Owen calls out Dodger for being with Mr. Jovi, right? He's like, and I know about you and
Mr.
Walker kissing. Thank you.
It should have been Mr. Jovi.
It should have
It would
been.
actually have been awesome.
Yeah.
Mr. Jovi.
Mr. Jovi. So at one point, Owen calls her out. He's like, I saw you guys kissing. And then she's like, well, I went there and I ended it. I was the one that was ending it. He kissed me. What was I supposed to do? Right?
Yeah.
And
But then she calls him like immature.
yeah, and she's like, you're immature.
Yeah, she kind of alludes to him being immature, and it's like from his perspective, it just came off like you were leading him on.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean,
it's-
Owen had
it's
every
okay.
right to be.
Like a little peeved
Upset.
by the whole thing,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's but she's allowed to do whatever she wants with her life. But she's just like, you're being very immature. It's like you broke my heart.
And
I've
the thing
met a
too-
couple of those girls in my life.
Yeah.
I'll lead you on.
Mr. Walker.
Yeah.
Let's talk about him. He's a scumbag, right? Like
I thought he was the hero.
Yeah,
of
Mr.
the
Jovi.
piece.
Mr. Jovi.
We learned
No.
early on, there is no hero.
Give
Yeah.
love a bad name, Mr. Jovi.
He's given love a bad name.
I was waiting for the perfect Bon Jovi pun, and you just made it.
You just nailed it. Yeah.
Give love a bad name.
Slam dunk.
That's what I would have said to him if I saw him. Be like, shame on you, Mr. Jovi. You give love a bad name. Huh. And then walk out.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
he would have been like, "Oh yeah, that's one of my songs."
It's Mr. Walker.
Oh, I get that reference.
okay.
By the way, I'm
'Cause I
going
like
into your
music.
classroom to download one of your songs right now.
On
Sue
Napster.
I just try to play a part, man. I
come
want
on,
to be an
man.
actor. Could you just stop busting my balls?
So Mercedes, who isn't there, she's alone in her dorm room, and she's about to go take a shower, And that's when she gets attacked in the bathroom, and her boyfriend sees. He's like, "Send me a picture," right? And so she sends a picture, and you see Wolf like kind of behind
It's
her.
actually a cool shot.
It is.
It's a cool shot.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
And a cool reveal and stuff. Because she doesn't see it because the mirror's like all fogged up from the shower, and so she doesn't see it behind him, and it's a really cool reveal.
That starts to make the wolf concept, because we went back to, we're trying, like, okay, we have 20 more minutes of the film, right? Hey, like,
Here it is.
Owen's holding on to the hope that this is real.
Yeah.
But then you see a shot like this, and you're like, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like another one out there.
Yeah, maybe there's a copycat killer that's like, hey, they're playing their little game, but remember, this was sent out
Right.
to the entire campus.
Exactly.
It's no different than Scream, when
Right.
everyone finds out, you start finding these copycat killers. So it could be possible that, their little game is ending, but
a
real killer is like,
takes it on.
yeah, I'm just going to take this on.
I wish they took the mask off him and it was an actual wolf.
Oh, that would have been
like,
crazy.
This is Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
I'm
Teen
a teen wolf.
He's like, win in the end.
Teen
I'm
Wolf?
gonna win in the end.
He's like, get a van. I'm gonna go
I was
surfing.
just gonna make that
Fuck
joke.
you.
Fuck you.
So
Damn it.
So Mercedes gets attacked in the bathroom. Meanwhile, at the chapel, Owen and Tom and Regina find Randall dead. Right?
Yeah.
They see like some blood that leads to the corner, and they're like, "Oh no, Randall's dead." So Owen pushes to go find Dodger, while Tom and Regina are like,
We're getting out of here.
getting out of
we're
here,
out.
right? And they go to the car. He's like, "You have 20 minutes, okay, man?" And then as Owen is like running around, the 20-minute mark hits, and you just see them like peel off, and Owen like chases them down. Like he's like, "No, Tom, wait!"
You can't stop for me.
Yeah,
I'm alone on the road.
just stop. And that's when Dodger tries to. At one point, Owen goes up to the office of Mr. Walker, right? And he finds a gun. And at one point, there's a phone call.
Yep.
And it turns out it's Dodger. So he looks out the window. She's like, "I'm on my way to you now."
Well, she tells him to look in the drawer for something else.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's right. And that's when he finds
There's a lot
the
of
gun.
hazing bullshit going on here.
Yeah,
I left
this
my
is
lip
definitely-
gloss in that office. Could you put
Yeah.
that back for me?
Yeah. And so Dodger tries to outrun the wolf. Like the wolf shows up behind her. He's like, "Run!"
I like this.
That's a great reveal, too.
It's very like Rear Window.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that,
'cause
that
he's,
idea,
like,
on-
helpless.
yeah, like he can't help her. Like
Yep.
he's watching her through the window, and there's
Yeah.
killers coming up on her. It's really cool. It's like real
It's-
good suspense stuff.
Yeah, it's really good. And as you see, the wolf chases her down. That's when Owen like runs down, and he finds that he's too late and that she's dead. And as he goes, that's when Mr. Jovi shows up. Right? He knocks on the door.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Meow, meow. Walker. So he shows up, and that's when he and Owen kind of start to wrestle for the gun a little bit. And he's like, "Wait a second. Where did you find?" He's like, "I found these this hoodie. Oh, well, like the mask and the camo jacket down the stairs, right?" And he's like, "Wait a second. It's you. You're the one. You're the wolf. That's why you stuck up for me with the principal." He's like, "What are you talking about,
Whatever that
man?"
means.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they start to wrestle for the gun, and that's when things get a little slippery when wet.
Put the sign up.
Yeah, for Bon Jovi's first album. And Mr. Jovi gets shot, and Owen then sees Dodger.
I like when Owen shoots him and he goes "Bon voyage."
Bon voyage, Walker. Ooh, that's good. And
That's what I'm saying.
that's when Dodger comes in
love
with like Tom and Regina, and they're totally fine. And they enter the room, and the only real victim is Mr. Jovi.
I was gonna say the only real victim was the janitor who has to clean up all that shit, but that's cool.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll
Yeah.
be Owen.
We never think about the janitor who's got to go up and clean all this
Yeah.
fucking blood.
Yeah.
All these kids running
Fake
around.
blood everywhere. Because at one point, like the
Owen would probably clean it.
It's like
Say,
Dodgers.
Yeah,
Why so
he's,
mad?
Owen's just gonna clean it up.
No, Dodgers' dad's got to go in there with the fucking mop.
yeah.
Dodgers' dad's just like, oh my god, I thought I was going home early tonight.
Yeah, and he's stuck. And it's funny. So all the students played their part, and Owen, like, all the kids are alive, right? Even Randall, who they thought was dead.
Can we just say
He's
how
alive.
like fucked up and manipulative like this whole
Yeah.
situation is? Like,
know.
Yeah.
it's really shitty.
But like, how did they know he wasn't gonna give up after the first round of all the surprises? When he's like, no, there's still somebody. Like, I know you guys set all that up. There's
Yeah.
still
He's
somebody.
a very gullible person.
Yeah, so I guess
I mean,
Yeah.
EJ
says
and I
that.
have met
She's
some
like-
very gullible
She's
people.
like,
Yeah.
she's like, you're a really nice guy and you're predictable. I think she says that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, predictability is one thing, but she's got like
She's-
foresight into the future.
Right. And it's funny because I think most people would have been like, all right, I'm really in trouble with the principal. I'm going to stop here.
I'm gonna really just.
I almost
calm
was
down.
shot by a cop. I am going to stop, right?
You may
And
have
just-
gone too far.
Yeah.
Owen is the type that will drive out in the pouring rain because he thinks he's going to meet a girl at a gas station.
At Sheets in Dunmore.
Maybe it would have been nice.
I mean, come on.
It totally.
It totally is.
Totally stink.
God,
Did that.
yes.
Yeah. So, no, we had a friend named Stink who absolutely would fall for
This
everything.
He would have been Owen.
He would have been Owen. He would have shot a teacher for a girl.
He was a cop too.
He's a cop now too. So, anyways, you find out all of the students are alive, and they all took part in different things. It was actually James Corden that was in the bathroom with Mercedes.
Yeah, because now they start showing
Yeah.
like how it was kind of all.
dun 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 dun.
up.
It's the song
Game over. Game over. And we see, it turns out Owen's in the police station, and he gets away with it. His dad shows up finally and is like, hey, you're going to get off scot-free, because it turns out Mr. Walker was the one who had a gun, and that gun, the ballistics, matched the same bullets that were used to kill Becky, the local girl. And Becky
right.
and Mr. Walker had like a thing that was happening, right? And he's like, yeah, you're going to get away with killing him, Mr. Walker, because it's self-defense, right? And he's like, oh, cool. And then...
Awesome.
Great. And then...
Killing that guy felt great.
I killed the teacher, and I'm
Man,
going to get away with it?
He went from
Great.
being a murderer to a hero.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
in a matter of 5 minutes.
And then...
Classism rules.
and I like how, like, they don't keep him in questioning. They're like, hey, you have a friend from school that showed up. And they're like, just go ahead and talk
You're
to her.
fine. You're fine.
No
Should I stay
questioning
here?
needed here.
Or,
We don't
like,
need.
for-
We don't
No,
need to know if you're gonna do it again.
Right. We're
No.
not going to detain you for 24 hours just to make sure, like, we have all
Some
this stuff.
counseling for you.
Yeah. Because those ballistics had a turnaround, like, in 20 minutes,
Go
right?
and talk to that girl.
2005, forensics really changed.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
what-
that's true.
Just make sure you go talk to that girl. That'll probably trigger you.
Right. So they're like, go talk to your friend. She's in the lobby. Don't worry about it. Go talk to your friend.
You guys
So-
want us to leave?
Yeah. Nope.
We'll leave the station if you guys want to talk. It's okay.
Yeah. So he goes out and it's Dodger, and she's crying. She's upset. And as he's talking to her, it all clicks, right? He's like, whoa. Dodger planned it all to kill Mr. Walker from the beginning because she was hooking up, or he was hooking up with Becky behind her back. And
Which is an awesome twist, by the way.
it was. It actually
come on.
really was. Like, I didn't remember. Like, the last time I saw it was probably in theaters with you.
Yeah. That beginning of the movie to the ending part where, okay, he gets killed and you learn all this stuff about Mr. Walker.
Yeah.
To the part where you find out that Dodger was really kind of fucking awesome.
It was awesome. I actually was really, like, I forgot that reveal. Like, I remember her playing, like, a key part in something.
Yeah.
But that was about it. And
Yep.
then when you get this reveal, I'm like, oh my God, she's like Jigsaw.
Yeah,
the
she
whole
did.
time.
She basically had everybody play this game so she can conquer her manipulative plan of putting this all together.
Right. And he basically, that's the rules of the game, right? He's like, manipulate everyone, and then eliminate your enemy. And so Walker was her enemy, and she just used him
Yeah.
to like eliminate him, right? And
What'd she say to him? She's like, "Tell me about it, stud."
Yeah.
Is that what she said to him?
yeah, and it's like, I got chills. They're multiplying. No, but it's revealed that she was behind the whole thing. And we also, before that, get to reveal that the janitor is her father.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
how's it going, honey? Right? While everyone's getting carted away and stuff. And she's like, good, dad, And I was just like, oh,
You remember
okay.
how she was like so horribly embarrassed? Like,
Yeah.
like her dad was like a savage murderer or something.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to talk about my dad.
Yeah.
So he's the guy who's putting her through school. She
Yeah.
probably gets to go to school there because he's pushing a mop for her.
Exactly.
True.
Cleaning up her
Yeah.
giant mess.
Yep.
And you're
And-
trying to defend her before. Look at you.
I know.
Don't you feel silly now?
I know.
Hey, I want a written apology on my desk tomorrow by 9 a.m., sir.
Owen had to feel like shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
So
what the hell
the movie
did I get
ends
myself
where
involved
like
in?
Owen is literally watching her like leave, and
Well, because what did she say to him? She's like that's that's a crazy story, but how would you ever be able to prove it? And then that song kicks in. It's like shot through the heart.
and I'm to blame. Turns out,
Yeah.
Mr. Walker.
You give love a bad name.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been a great way to end that movie, though?
It
in
would
all
have been so
honesty?
good. Shot through
She
the
says that
heart.
line, and it's just like boom.
How many real
man.
cry wolves have happened across our country?
Yeah, I mean, probably a
That
lot,
type
right?
of yeah.
Not to maybe
teachers
the
messing with people, someone getting jealous. I mean, that's a pretty real story.
it's probably not as elaborate as this.
They
but
might still
at
be
the
using
same
AOL
time,
as a messenger
yeah.
to message people.
Right. Yeah.
Long
it's
gone
true.
are the days of AOL manipulation. We can say
Yeah.
that with
Yeah.
all certainty.
Now it's Discord.
But the movie ends and he's just like literally shocked. It's like Saw, right? Like the end of Saw
Yeah.
where Adam is just like stuck there like
Yeah.
looking.
Game over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he can't really. I mean, Owen can't prove anything.
Right.
Again, I mean, we're talking 2005 here. This is before we can really. I mean, yeah, technology was changing,
Right.
but we weren't nowhere near where we are 20 years later in today.
And it turns out she went into politics. No, I'm just kidding. She's like, this is fun.
Yeah, I could make money doing this.
Yeah. But yeah, the credits roll, and that's where it ends, where she is responsible for everything, and just to take out Mr. Bon Jovi. And
Shit.
I really like this movie. I
Well,
like.
tell me, how'd you like it, EJ?
Tell
I
us,
liked
EJ.
it. I liked it a lot. I really liked it. I think it does suffer from no likable character in this movie, except the librarian. I would say that, and the deer,
The feisty librarian. And the deer.
and maybe Becky, who got shot
Yeah.
5 seconds in.
I'm sure she was a rotten.
Are you
person.
okay? Are you? I mean, as as a film buff, as an actor, Rory as a director, do you like when characters, when you watch a film and you can't really pinpoint the hero or the,
Like the antagonist
yeah,
or
right?
protagonist.
Do you like that, or you're just
It
like,
depends.
okay.
Yeah.
It depends, because they say that you should have like a main character that you can identify with, that you can root for.
Right.
But you shouldn't always have the same rules for everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like characters that are just like morally gray.
Yeah.
You know, like a Dexter, where you're like, I know you're a bad person, but you kind of root for him.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like you, the show. Like you kind
Oh, I
of.
thought you were talking about him.
No, it's just
Or
like
like
me,
a
man.
It's kind of like you.
If anyone knows me, it's Adam, and he's right.
So you dug the flick.
I loved it. Yeah, I it's crazy because I think when I initially watched it, and I kind of said this earlier, like I thought it was a horror movie going into it, right? And I think when I initially left, I was like, oh, that was cool, but it wasn't really a horror film, right? Revisiting it, I'm like, wow, this is just a great movie. Like it's fun and it's
Yeah.
good, and I think it's I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was great. How about you? What did you think?
Well, let's go to Dan.
Come on, Dan.
Yeah, I didn't love it. Again, it's not. I didn't hate it. I'm just unsure. I
You
couldn't
son of a bitch.
find that person to connect with. I normally like those kind of twists and turns. Like
Yeah.
Identity is one of my favorite
Yeah.
movies of
Oh,
all
yeah.
time, and I think just like I don't know, that does it so much better. But also in that movie, like I could connect with everybody.
Would you say that like maybe the ending didn't land for you because you didn't care enough about the people that it
I
affected?
wished they all had really died. Like I didn't want there to be a twist where they were all still alive.
Owen was the last
Yeah.
survivor.
Yeah, even Owen, I didn't want.
I feel like if they just played up Owen as more of a protagonist and didn't have like
a British
a
accent.
shitty British accent.
Swap
No.
him out for Andrew Garfield, and you would have had a great movie.
Yeah, I think like he didn't come
Yeah.
off like very likable,
No,
right?
he had like a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
He had an entitlement thing to him.
yeah, he thought he was better than
Yeah, it's a
everybody
good way to
and
put it.
stuff.
The entitlement piece for
They all
sure.
did. Every
yeah.
one of them.
Right.
Yeah, they all felt like they were
They all thought
entitled
that
to
they were
something.
like above everybody, and that was like.
I mean,
something
I
they
could
should
tell you,
be
I
proud
wouldn't be
of.
fucking hanging out with those people.
No way.
They'd be like, "You want to play a game?" I'm like, fuck off. I'm going to hang out with my buddy EJ. We're gonna dance and sing tonight.
Yeah,
I'd be wor- I'd
that
be
was
wor-
our Friday.
I'd be working with Dodger's dad,
Yeah,
hanging with him.
Yeah.
He
wearing
was
like-
likable.
he's wearing like a Freddy
Yeah,
Krueger
he
sweater.
was likable.
Yeah.
It's like, hey Fred. He's like, hey guys, how you doing?
Would you
That's
say?
my daughter Dodger, bitch.
But yeah, so
When did Krueger start cleaning up around here?
he kept picking up a mop to start cleaning and doing janitor stuff, and I was like, all right, I guess this is the guy we're supposed to like. Maybe he's. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
I got skeletons in my closet too.
I do feel like the lack of likability for Owen is a little bit of a detriment for this, right?
There probably should have been a lesson for him within the whole thing. If
Yeah.
he's the lead, maybe like he should have been like, oh well, maybe we are a bunch of entitled assholes who treat people as a way to, like, I don't know, like, medicate our boredom.
But I don't
Right.
understand.
So like maybe he should have been like, oh, like all these games that we play actually like hurt and people and leadership. So maybe he should have had some sort of arc, but instead he's just kind of like, oh, that's what happened.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, was he one of them? Because he's doing the
Nah.
janitor thing, and then he calls them out, like the boring rich kids in the very beginning statement. Like,
Right.
I
don't
think
know.
I think
his
he,
dad comes in and gets him off at the end.
I think he's one of those people that went to that school because his father wanted him to be there. He necessarily didn't want to be there, and then felt like he needed to fit in. So he found this little crew that he felt like they kind of like. She kind of invited him in, so he felt like he started to adapt to that kind of group, right? But that's not really who he was. But he was trying really hard to fit in
Yeah.
with those people.
Like
with Dodger mostly.
I thought the scene where he goes to the beach and they're playing soccer, and and Tom shows up with the Cobra Kai, and they break his radio. Oh, Allie's radio.
Come on, man. Come on.
Don't touch the radio. I
How'd
thought
you
that
like
was a
the
good
movie?
scene. Yeah, Adam, what did you think of it?
I mean, listen, I love this film, and there's a lot of reasons why I love the film. I think the nostalgic aspect of it is awesome because, you know, EJ and I went to see this film together. You know, it came out at a really interesting time. The other piece of that is there was a game that you can play. You can't play it anymore. Like, you can go to the website, and the website's awesome. I highly recommend, and well, I'll give you the link to go to check it out. But the website's awesome. I remember it like to a T. But there was a game that you played on AOL Instant Messenger, and you would message the wolf.
Yeah.
You would play the game with the wolf.
I think I
with-
remember that.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't see the
actually
movie
pretty
back
cool.
then, but I think I remember that.
But it's no different than a bot, like the bots that are out there. You would message it would message you back, and then you would play a game. But then you would go into it would put you into different groupings. Like 6 or 7 players would get put in these different groupings on AOL Instant Messenger in a chat room. You would have to figure out who was the wolf.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. So
Yeah.
you'd play this game, and I think the marketing for it was awesome. That they kind of tied up and linked up with like Time Warner and AOL Instant Messenger and AOL in general to kind of market this because that was at the height of the most users that were using AOL at the time. So
Yeah.
the movie itself could have bombed at the box office for all they cared, but it drove a lot of publicity to AOL, which made the movie even bigger for them because you can play the game after seeing the movie. And if you go on like Reddit and stuff, you can go back and look at some of like this historical archives, and read some of the things where people are like, I wish this Java game was still around, and they're like, hey, go play Mafia, it's the same thing, or hey, go do this. So it's cool to see like that. They're like, I remember playing this game. Kind of ties it back to that film. So listen, I love the film. I think it's great. Is there definitely? It's one of the things. It's like Y2K. You can't go into this film
exactly
with the expectations that you're going to like. This is the film. Like it's winning an Oscar.
I think not seeing it in 2005 was detrimental for you know what I mean. Just seeing it now.
Yeah,
for the first
absolutely.
Time.
I think 2005. It was at the time when that was kind of what it was. And Y2K does a good job in kind of filling those gaps even today in 2025 to go back and kind of make 1999 what it was. But I do love the film. I think it's a good film for what they were working with at the time.
Yeah.
It's my thoughts.
Yeah. All right.
Rory?
I really love the fact that this was such a small movie. It was made on very obviously very little money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm more fascinated by that. Like, I'm watching the movie and I'm just kind of like, oh, it's really cool. They had like a really neat premise and like a really cool way of wrapping everything up. Because, again, seeing it maybe in 2005, it probably was like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But if you've seen enough of what you thought this movie was going to be, something like this is awfully refreshing.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool approach. So to me, it's like I really commend the filmmaker for having such little resources and making something pretty cool. I will say, not wild about the storytelling, and the characterizations are definitely not the best. So, the kind of dings it a little bit for me. But when I was watching it 2 nights ago, I was very invested in it. It was a lot better than what I remembered, because that was one of those movies I watched once and I was like, hey, I saw Cry Wolf, and then I never thought about it again. Whenever I would see like the movie, like an image of it or something, I always would just think, I'm like, oh, that's that movie with all the red.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's a lot of red in that movie, but not much else outside of that. I just kind of like forgot about it, but revisiting it, I got, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's like a nice an admirable indie horror film. It's worth watching. I don't think it's something that's going to be a lot of people's cup of tea or something that they would say that they loved, unless you understand like what you were saying, like the nostalgia behind it. But it's again, just for the little money and the little resources, that filmmaker did a great job for a directorial debut. So, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I think Becca enjoyed it too.
And I think just like the commentary about how like
Great job getting AOL to buy into the marketing side of this as well, right? I mean, for a small film, you got a massive company at the time, right? Like Time Warner to let you use that in your film is pretty awesome.
All the money that
what's crazy? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say all the money they put in to this movie, AOL. It's the reason why AOL went under.
Well, I was just gonna say, like right around the corner, right? MySpace was about to pop,
start to take off a little bit.
Which is crazy.
Do you guys remember MySpace?
Mike Space?
No, Mice Space.
Oh, MySpace. Yeah, that was a good one.
Did you ever go on there?
Yeah,
It's like a bunch of. It's just like mice. It's MySpace, but for mice.
Right.
I loved
and
it.
there would be like mazes sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we don't like that.
They have their top 8 mice friends.
They're like, we don't like that trope.
No, but it was adorable. You go on there, you'd hear like their favorite songs.
Yeah.
Guys, go on www.MiceSpace and check out some of what 2005 used to be for mice.
Yeah.
They'll have like the bag.
When did MySpace become? I feel like, would you know offhand or not?
Well, I feel like MySpace started to make its the Facebook,
Maybe like
Facebook.
2005, right?
I feel like it's
no,
like an
MySpace was probably
05-ish.
like I would say 04, 05. It started to really make its climb. I mean, listen, AOL lasted until December of 2017 because it struggled to the world was changing, right? Like you had MySpace, you had Facebook, you had Instagram started rolling around, right? You had all these
Facebook
different.
was like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy is that, and Rory knows this because I'm part of the revival, but there's about, I don't know, I'd say there's probably a solid 10,000 people on AOL again. I mean, it's amazing how things change. There's a group that bought the former AOL executives that left AOL, and now are working with this group called Level Leap and I paid for it to go on it because it's a startup, but they basically have the rights to utilize the software and get the servers back up and running. And I would say it's all tied into Discord now, which is pretty cool. So what you type on Discord goes to AOL and vice versa, and live stream and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I was in a chat room 2 nights ago talking with people, and it's like, it's never left. Now, granted,
did you
Rory,
play
I know
Wolf
you were
with
on
them?
the Phoenix side when we were doing Phoenix, but we did not do the Wolf. But yeah, I would say there was probably a solid 30-some people in there chatting. And Discord has tons of users, so like it just keeps growing because people on Discord are finding out about it, and they just keep going. So I use both the AOL desktop version and I use Instant Messenger, which is awesome. So it's kind of making a comeback in a way, because people, what was once old, like, it comes back, it's new. People love nostalgic things.
Oh my God.
Just like Space Hay is a remake of MySpace. They have over 1 million users. People don't realize this. If you go on to spacehey.com.
Losers.
Did you pick this movie just because
No.
you bought into the reboot?
I know.
AOL
No.
Instant Messenger?
No, listen.
He's just trying to push his agenda.
No, I mean, listen. I think it's pretty cool to see these things. I'll promote my website later, but EJ inspires me with his iMac G3.
Yeah.
Because EJ was the first one in our neighborhood to own an iMac G3, which was probably one of the most popular Macintosh computers that came out that Steve Jobs loved and praised, and EJ had it, and it was the most glorious thing in the world.
I don't even know how I had that.
Probably where that entitlement came from.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's some good memories with that. So like it's the things that you look back that are like nostalgic that is cool, and I think that film does it on top of what we do, which is cool.
All right. With that being said, let's get into emojis really quick.
Let's hear those burn ass emojis.
What the hell was that?
Dude, every fucking week anymore, I just keep hearing that.
Yeah, it's kind of sexy. I don't know.
It
That's
is
weird.
sexy.
Yeah,
It's like uncomfortably sexy.
yeah. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it sounds like you a little bit. And I don't know what that means about our friendship.
Yeah. I know what it means, baby. All right, let's start with Dan. Do you want to start us off with emojis, bro?
Yeah, so I'll be good and quick. I texted them to myself earlier. So I have the fox face emoji just because it's like a wolf but with an orange mask on. I have a beeper emoji because it was the closest thing I could find to an AOL Instant Messenger bubble. I have the rock star and the British flag because that conversation in the movie between the teacher and Owen is kind of where it all went downhill for me. And then I have knife, gun, twisty turn sign, and then a WTF face.
Cool. How about you?
Yeah.
I have a wolf. I have a knife. I have a gun, Dan, which is appropriate for this movie. And I really think that's the only thing that I have a forest for a tree.
Ooh, I like that.
Because of the opening scene.
Yeah. All right. Rory, you go ahead.
All right, I got it. I got a wolf.
Uh-huh.
I got a deer.
Okay.
There was a deer in this movie, and I thought he did a really good job.
He was one of the
He
students,
was very attractive.
but he wasn't really involved with the
No,
wolf thing.
no, he
Yeah.
dropped out.
Yeah.
That's how Owen got into the school, because the deer dropped out.
Oh,
That's why he ran
so that's why
away.
they ran into each other.
That's why.
Okay.
That's the origin of that.
He was on his way out.
He was
Yeah.
like,
He's
I'm
like,
out of here.
So this is your problem now, Owen. And then I got a knife,
Yeah.
blood, and then a question mark, because
Oh.
is it really blood? Is it really a knife?
Yeah.
Bunch of bullshit when you get down to it.
All right. All
Go
right.
ahead.
I have a laptop.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I have a knife, and I have a floppy disk for the age of this movie.
You have a floppy.
You have a
D.
flashlight too, right?
I should have a flashlight just for the lighting of this movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
So that's my emojis.
Cool.
All right, now let's get into our plugs.
It's time for a plug.
Freak is happening.
I think we need to get an exorcist in here because this place is clearly haunted.
It's weird, but I like it.
I do. I'm growing to enjoy it. And maybe
man.
over time, if it happens enough times, we just won't even draw attention to it anymore.
Yeah.
It'll just become part
Natural.
of the fabric of frequels.
It'll become all natural.
All natural, pal.
Yeah, all natural, pal.
Shit.
That should be our nicknames.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Let's go, Adam Farley. What would you like to plug first?
Oh man.
Make it quick.
I'll make it very quick. So, taking a little break from music right now, so I don't really have much to plug on the music side, but you could check out my music on Spotify, Apple Music, where any music is streaming, just under Adam Farley.
YouTube.
Yeah, actually,
You
I've
have,
been...
like you and Ryan Cabrera.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff on there, and we're posting
Yeah.
more videos now that I'm taking a little bit of a breather and a break. I've been working with Jimmy and Dave and to get some stuff out there for like the MDG crew stuff. So we're doing some cleaning up and spending some time getting that done. But I do want to plug adamandjim.com. We have been working on this website for literally the last 2 years. It has a tremendous amount of content on there right now. Where it's basically the archive of everything we've done in life, from our boy bands with Evolution and Project 5 and the MDG crew and the push with Jimmy and Tim McDermott. So we are building this. It also has the awesome video content of shows that we've done, cool links of all these different links you can visit that are very nostalgic. But what is most important on there is how can you join us again on AOL Instant Messenger? We walk you through. It's very easy to do. You can also log in on your mobile. You can log in online and relive the past like it's still 1999. So adamandjim.com. Please check it out. Jimmy and I are very proud of that site, and we keep building it day after day. So, and I also want to plug Freakquels, because if you're not listening to Freakquels, you're an asshole, as Rory would say. So it's a great podcast. I'm happy to be on here with my fellow brothers, and I listen to it every Thursday. I will be listening to it tomorrow. I will say, I have to say this really quick. I chuckle and I laugh all the time. Like, people must think I'm crazy when I'm driving, because like when I hear the shit that comes out of Rory's mouth or the shit that comes out of your mouth, especially when you do like, that stuff just makes me like, I laugh because I've just known you guys for so long, including Dan.
Yeah.
And it's the little things that just, it's like, man, I'm so blessed to know these guys. Like,
Dude,
I love
we're
you
blessed
guys.
to know you.
So thank you. Thanks for having me on.
I feel cursed to know both of you.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's a real burden.
Hey, I'm glad.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good.
Thanks.
Now let's get into Dan's plugs.
This is the most creative thing I've done in probably 25 years, so I don't really have anything to plug.
Would you like to plug this
I
episode?
was going to say, this is the thing I'd like to plug, but if you're already listening, then, I mean, listen again,
Yeah.
I guess, right? That's good.
Do it
Yeah.
twice.
Do it twice.
Jack our numbers up.
The most creative people I know are sitting here, I mean, in this thing, so obviously Adam's plugged himself. EJ's going to plug his things. Follow these people, not just in the things they create, but in life, man. Like, I was that kid that wanted to be in drama club, but like didn't want to be like not cool or made fun of, so I didn't do it. And it's like,
So you're saying you had friends and like a girlfriend and stuff? Yeah.
but I regret it now. So I mean,
Oh.
you guys love to create stuff, and like, it's awesome. You spread love.
love you,
happiness,
buddy.
good things.
I love you so much.
I
Dan.
plug you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
love you, Dan.
Love you too.
I do have to say really fast that you last month were a part of the Coaches vs. Cancer, and reached out, and we like helped donate a FREAKQUELS basket thanks to you, and we were so pumped to like be a part of that. And so thank you for like reaching out and thinking of us.
Yeah, no,
for
that was awesome, and like it was probably the coolest basket I ever made, and one of the coolest ideas I did come up with. So I guess I did
Yeah.
do something creative. In the last
Yeah,
25
I was
years.
gonna say, shut up.
It was nice being a part of a charity that I wasn't scamming.
Right, yeah. Normally Rory is always
Yeah, you
trying
gotta
to
watch
take a
out for
little off
Rory.
the top.
I gotta tell you guys about my March of Dimes thing I got going on.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But Rory, how about you? What would you like to plug?
I'll do this real quick. We got Raven View Productions. I'm serious. Be expecting a lot more stuff coming soon. I have a screenplay that is like a stone's throw away from being exactly what I want it to be, and that's going to be the next project, but I'm not going to tell any of you anything about it right now. But at some point I will. Fourth Cut Reviews. Keyboard warrior Chris Conforti. Wielding the keyboard of truth.
Can I just ask how that? I hear this all the time. How the hell did this keyboard warrior thing? I gotta ask. I know it's your plug, but I gotta plug that. What is that?
It's Chris Conforti. That's what he is.
I hear it all the time, and I'm like, does he have like a keyboard from like an old desktop PC that he walks around with, or is he talking about like a
it's
keyboard
like a
he plays?
sword, but he like has a bunch of.
So it's a keytar.
Yeah.
It's like a keytar keyboard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He really just wants to know if he's on AOL.
Yeah.
You know what? He would be.
He would be.
Yeah.
He absolutely
100%.
would be
Yeah.
as the keyboard warrior 25.
Actually, his superhero name is Keyboardo. We got Variant Season, Will Perna's band with his merry band of rock musicians, crushing it. We got Gravy Diggers. Oh, by the way, Variant Season, you can find other music on all the places that you listen to your music. Gravy Diggers is the pot pie that the FBI is now currently investigating. We have a body count as long as Santa Claus's naughty list.
Yeah.
Pretty long. Schwartz Dreamboat,
Hell yeah.
our local comedic genius, and if you're not following them, you're doing yourself a disservice, like a prick. Real Chronicles, my buddy Dave Gonzalez, friend of the show. You could listen to Real Chronicles. You can find him on the Cinematic Reel. And you could read his reviews on RottenTomatoes.com. He's a legit critic, and he's wonderful at it.
Or for those out there, Rotten Tomatoes.
Tomatoes is what I call
Some
it.
say Rotten Tomatoes.
You say tomato, I say tomato, whatever. Go
Right.
fucking walk in the traffic. Most important, everybody out there in the world, I'm going to get into the only thing that I really want to plug. The rest of the stuff, it doesn't matter to me. If it all falls apart, these people get hurt, I don't care. But what I care about, Kitties of Vinny PA Pet Rescue. It is really cold this week. It is
Very
so
cold.
damn cold. We're below 20. And so much to the point that a snowman was just like, this is too much.
Yeah.
And I said, shut the fuck up.
It's like, I'm moving to Florida.
I ran him down with my car, so he's not going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Pieces
Good.
of him all over the goddamn highway. He was just trying to hitch a ride. The last thing he ever did.
Yeah.
Anyway, Keys of Any PA Pet Rescue. It is absolutely my favorite thing that you can be a part of right now because I love cats. I love little furry guys, and they come in my apartment and I give them food and treats. But you can donate blankets, you can donate food, you can donate your time, you can donate your house, donate your heart to these little guys. I got a cat from there. I'm not a person who just pushes a group without actually partaking to some extent. I have a cat named Ella. She's black. She's very long. She's got big, wide, spooky eyes. And sometimes I just look at her and I'm like, yeah, there has to be something out there in the universe to create a fucking cat. And their little triangle faces. They're so cool. But what I'm going to say right now, look them up. You can actually get a link to them if you're too fucking dumb to find them on Facebook, which I suspect if you're listening to us this long, you got to be pretty stupid. There's a link on our www.freakquelspodcast.com.
Yes.
There's a link. You can go right to them and help the cats.
That's correct.
Stop feeding your kids and take care of the cats.
Yes. Yeah. Ditch your kids and get those cats.
Get them cats.
Get them cats.
Go ahead.
All right. I have a couple plugs. Obviously, Adam Farley's music.
He's here.
Who is that guy?
Always got to plug it. But BFF, Adam Farley's music, check it out. It's awesome. It's a wide variety of like pop, rock.
It's a
awesomeness.
tackle
A little
back.
bit of everything.
It's a tackle
Yeah, it's a little
box
bit of everything.
tunes.
Pay
Yeah.
some homage to my boy band days
Yeah.
and to, talking about my children and my wife.
Yeah. Some of my favorite songs are like Carson's song is literally one of my favorite songs. I
Thanks,
love
man.
it so much. Also, check out New Metal Messiah.
John Snow.
John Snow.
John Snow.
I love when you guys do that, by the way.
EasternTributeCollective.com. You could find all his upcoming shows. It is crazy to see
What is
Jon
that
Snow
name again?
live. Jon Snow metal.
No,
new
the
metal.
Eastern
Eastern Tribute Collective.
sounds very similar to a lawsuit here.
Oh, why? What is?
What was our band name?
Oh my God!
The Electric. What was it? The
Electric
Celtic Drum Band.
Electric
ECDB.
Celtic drum. Yeah.
Oh
you
wow,
guys-
we might have to.
Yeah, we might have
to
we
challenge that.
We'll have to.
Weren't you
take
guys
him to court.
also the Electric Boogaloo?
Well, he was Mr. Boogaloo.
That was Mr. Boogaloo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mr. Boogaloo Shrimp.
I was a milkman.
Just finish your plug.
So, check out. You have to see Jon Snow live. It's the only way to see Jon Snow because he's amazing. He's incredible.
Dude's in like 15 bands.
He does all
Literally
different.
has like 4 houses to keep equipment in.
Yeah, like it's for real.
Be prepared to
He
lust
is amazing.
after him.
Yeah, those calves, man. Those calves.
You just want to be between them. Go on.
Talking about calves, let's go over to Three Jacks. Make sure to check out Three Jacks in Dunmore. Basics done better. And what is the burger of the month, Rory?
I should
For
know
March.
this off the top of my head, but I don't. We just finished up the lunchbox, so if you missed out on that,
Oh yeah, the lunchbox is like
you.
where it's at. It's a
Yeah.
peanut butter burger with like what
Bacon jam.
Bacon
hey
jam.
man, it's already done.
Yeah.
We don't got to. We don't got to plug.
I know. We don't have.
We're past it.
Let's go to Respawn Tattoo. Gentle J.
Gentle J.
Giving out tattoos. He's amazing. If you haven't listened to the Twilight Zone movie episode,
You're just doing yourself a disservice.
he gave us John Lithgow masks.
It was awesome.
Well, that's cool.
And they're pretty rad. I'll just
that.
say that.
You can kill someone's wife in a bathtub wearing it.
Yes, and it's good. And also check out Christopher Liu has music out there.
Yeah.
And he's killing it. Songs from the Hallway EP.
It's very good.
Did you check it out?
I've listened to it quite a few times. It's very good.
It's good. It has
It's
like
got
a Billy
cool-
Joel kind
yeah,
of thing, right?
it's got a cool vibe to it.
Yeah.
Very
It's
cool.
really
vibe.
good.
Yeah.
Hey,
And so,
what else you want to plug?
and finally,
Yeah.
last but not least, FREAKQUELSPodcast.com. Guys, you can check out our website. We got everything there. We got it all.
We got photos,
We got photos,
merch,
links to different things, like links to different like NEPA kitties.
3 jacks. We got
3 jacks.
Yeah, honestly, we actually just had like a little bit of a sit down last night and started coming up with a shit ton of things for the future.
Yeah.
Like we want to kind of make this a little bit bigger outside of the podcast also. Some fun events that we're going to be announcing soon.
Yes. And it's really awesome.
It is so much fun. But I will say that for the longest time, you could listen to Freakquels wherever you listen to your podcasts, like Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio if you're weird.
Like me.
But we, I literally just uploaded all 76 or 7, how many episodes we have now, onto YouTube today. So you can now...
Not YouTube, Rory. It's the YouTube.
The YouTubes
Come on.
for you kids out there. You can listen to the YouTube Freakquels or Freakquels on YouTube,
Nice.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You can listen to it on there now because people kept coming up to me and saying, "Hey, are you guys on YouTube?" And I'm like, "We should be."
We should be.
We're a little late to the game on this one, but it's there.
Yeah, now we're finally on YouTube, which is awesome because there has been so many people that are like,
So you
"Are
have
you
an
guys on
official
YouTube?"
page.
Yeah, it's
So I
on
can
under
we can follow.
Ravenview
Okay, I'll go
Productions.
follow. Yeah.
And one of the drop offs is podcast, and you could see all the Freakquels podcasts.
I
there.
did stop at Ravenview Productions the other day. I actually showed my daughter the trailer for your film.
Oh, cool.
So she could see EJ in the trailer. And then I
just
watched your video that you did to kind of
promote.
thank the people that
Oh, sure.
kinda, put into the film and stuff. So it's cool. It's,
Was that the video where I was like hearing voices in my head and stuff?
I think so,
It
yeah.
was fun.
Yeah.
But it's cool to go and see and like show her like, hey, this is Rory and this is EJ, and because she knows you
Yeah.
to a T. She's like, there's EJ.
Yeah.
But it's cool to go and show them that stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, check out freakquelspodcast.com. Also, we have a shop there. So if you want to buy a hoodie, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt,
Pint glasses,
pint glasses, or
toenails.
toenail clippings of Rory, what else is there?
D-Train movie shirt.
The D-Train movie shirt. It's coming. And finally, no, check it out. And I hope you guys could find whatever you need. Hit us up if you have any suggestions or questions, or just want to tell Rory what a great voice he has. That's welcomed.
Rory, what's that email?
Oh, it's freakquelpodcast@gmail.com.
Or you could just straight up hit us up on the website.
That's
on
it.
FREAKQUELS Podcast.
Hey, if you get some time, you should go on to wherever you listen to us, whether it's Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever. Just give us just follow us, like, subscribe, whatever you gotta do.
Yeah.
Because we're in deep debt. We made some bad choices in life, and there's people always breathing down my neck, not begging, actually really demanding money that I apparently owe them from not knowing when to quit.
Bad
at
investments.
The craps tables,
Yeah.
mostly gambling. A degenerate gambler is what my mother's last words were to me before she passed.
Yeah.
She said,
You degenerate.
she called me a degenerate gambler, and then she had one last gasp and she was gone.
Oh, man.
But anyway, let's move on.
All right. Well,
Sad.
with that being said, thank you to our guest,
It's a sad
Mr.
way
Adam
to end this
Far-
pet podcast.
No, we're leaving on
So
a high
much death
note.
happening in this conversation today.
We're leaving on a high note. So, thanks to our guest, Adam Farley. Thank you so much for coming on again. Mr. Dan Hanicak for coming on for the first time. Please come back.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was awesome to have you on. And thank you to all the listeners at home. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in every week and checking it out, sending us beautiful messages.
Please
And,
give your family a hug tonight.
Yeah, hug your family, hug your kids. From FREAKQUELS,
We'll be
from
gone
Rory.
before you know it.
And with that being said, thank you for listening to
Fuck you, Dodger.
My dad. He teaches 6th grade English. Damn.
Ah, shit.